Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Thanks, Clarice. Good job, as always. It's amazing how beautiful they sing early in the morning. And particularly, we have a freeze warning this morning. They're still sounding good voice.
Till
good
9
morning.
o'clock, I believe.
I believe you were right there, Mr. Weather Guy. Teri Chamberlain is here. Good morning, Teri. Good to see you.
I think I'm here. I gotta check, make sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Knock
I'm
on
all
wood.
together.
Yeah. And Mike Olson, great grandpa. Boy, you folks are missing it on YouTube. And remember, you don't have to get an app to get us. You can pick us up on YouTube. And we are picking up some folks, increasing in numbers on YouTube. Thank you for being part of it. Good to see you, Mike. Great-grandpa, was that a recent gift?
Well, I got that when I had my first great-grandchild about 2.5 years ago. And
Yep, established
Yeah.
2023.
Well, there it says.
Yeah.
That's what that means, doesn't it?
That's what
Thank
that
you for
means.
pointing that out, you dummy, Roger. It says
I
established
forgot it was
2020.
That
You
was
forgot
my
it,
oldest
too.
great-grandchild, but my granddaughter, Taylor Van Meegum, he's a tech service rep down in the Fort Worth area. And
Have you been down to
been
Fort
down-
Worth
been down
to
there,
visit?
yeah. Very hot during it. Very
Hot.
It starts about now and it'll be near 100.
Hotter, yeah. It
for
does.
about 6
It
months.
does get hot, but they have no state taxes like Florida, so they have an advantage over us. Well, we talked to Teri and our folks yesterday, John Meisinger, and who else? Yesterday,
Dick Crane.
Dickie Crane.
Yeah, Dick Crane.
Dick Crane.
And Chad.
And Chad.
What was Chad's last name?
Nichols.
Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue.
Nichols.
What was it?
Nicholson.
No. I'll tell you what, Roger. You can Highland. I should
Highland,
remember
yes.
that because Walter Highland was skinny, and
he was skinny.
you would remember. So, what did you do? I know you had a big ham yesterday,
Big
Mike.
Ham, my wife and I kind of hosted a number of family members. And
Oh, so it was at your house.
It's at our house, yep.
Hallelujah.
Yeah, it was
You know,
nice.
there's just something about a ham dinner, particularly for Easter, that
That's it.
just
In fact,
tickles the palate.
I had a double header almost because I went to a.
You had two hams.
Yesterday, Monday, I went to what they call a PARTA, Peoria Area Retired Teachers Association monthly meeting.
Was that yesterday? Yeah, that's usually at Barracks Catering,
Oh,
is
it's
it
wonderful.
not? Yeah.
And they have kind of theme meals. So what is the theme meal for April?
So it would be
Ham.
Easter.
Ham.
So they had
So I
ham.
got my
in
ham and scallop.
Do you have to be a teacher?
You
or
can be a
retired
guest.
teacher?
You can be a guest.
Well, now let me back up. I was adjutant
I see.
professor at Bradley
Yeah.
for actually as a graduate assistant, and later on I taught for a semester or a year, and I also taught at Illinois Central College. Would
think
that
you're
qualify me to be a part of that?
I think you would.
They
be.
would scoff at me, said,
no, we'd
you
be-
haven't taught like we have for 1,800 years.
No.
They would pick on me. I know they would.
No, they wouldn't.
They were trying to get even with me.
It's a good group. And I got to give Dr. Gilbert a little credit.
Who?
Dr. Gilbert,
Okay.
and he's working.
Now, are we talking about an education doctor or a medical doctor?
Medical doctor.
I remember Dr. Gilbert when we went through the family practice program at
Yes.
Methodist Hospital.
Right, and he-
Neat guy.
Neat guy, very lovely wife Beth, and
Mm-hmm.
he gave a great presentation
On
on basically addiction.
Ooh.
both, you know, drugs and, you know, other things.
How about cake and pie? And because I'm addicted to it.
Well,
I mean,
told my wife the same thing.
there's no
addicted.
therapy available.
There's, you know, there's a couple different names. Those are kind of, there's a certain name for these other addictions, other than drugs that you develop, you know, that you feel you have to have. But
Well,
you know, he talked
cigarette
about like
smoke.
the e-cigarettes.
Did they
and
talk
stuff.
about cigarettes and
Yeah.
e-cigarettes?
Oh,
Yeah.
he said, you know, he made one statement that I hope I got it right. You know, the whole e-cigarettes came out. They were trying to reduce the nicotine.
Right.
Remember that? It wasn't for another thing for kids to use like they're using. I mean, I know a number of our schools have had trouble in the restrooms with these e-cigarettes. But they say now in this, and then of course we've got this vaping now too, which is kind of more of advanced form. They throw a nicotine like little pouch in them, I guess. And they say there's 20 times the nicotine in those.
On vaping, huh?
On the vaping, yeah. And he gave some great numbers, and you know, I mean, some of this stuff starts, you know, with the alcohol and the cigarettes and that as early as, you know, 7th and 8th grade, you know. And you call it 11 to 13, is it?
Well, how do they get? Isn't vaping against the law for anyone under the age of 18?
Yeah.
Whatever the case may be.
And so is alcohol, but
Yeah, they managed to
they
get it.
start very young on that too, and talking about, you know, the family really has to have a concerted effort to try to keep hands on it. And you know, he gave us some of the things you look at, you know, failing grades that start maybe when the kid's been a good student, now he's not a good student, kind of isolates himself from the family. He gave a lot of nice tips to the, you know, most of us are grandparents.
I don't know about the two of you, but I don't think I could raise children in today's environment
It's a lot of
because
distractions.
there are so many. You've got the internet, you've got
We talked
vaping, you've
about
got
that, the
cigarettes.
screening.
Yeah.
They say the average person's on a screen about 7 to 9 hours a day.
And you know, they just awarded some ridiculous amount that, in my opinion, she'll never get. I think
Facebook,
if eventually the higher court's going to
it's-
throw it out, it's stupid that she can't live without it, and when she gets it, she's corrupted. So either way, the media is at fault because this low IQ woman is blaming all of her mental problems on the internet. Just unplug it, mother. Take the unplug it and take it out, put it in the dumpster, and then your problems are not over, but 50%. And then
sure help. It'll sure
deal
help.
with her. What do they call it? Obsessive compulsive behahavior.
Yeah, he gave a lot of.
I can't wait till I get off the air so I can get on the internet. Matter of fact, I'm so bad on the internet, people say, you never reply to texts, you never reply to emails. I don't get on it until night when I use it to write the news. And I do write the news, I don't copy it. Any rate, good to see you. I think you had a good day yesterday.
Good day.
Lots of family get-together. And we had a survey yesterday that kind of disproved most of our thinking about what's the most popular, maybe that was with someone else I know, what is the most popular holiday?
Yeah, that wasn't here.
Wasn't here.
Well, one thing I'll say
And
about
it was Christmas, number one, and I think Easter, number two. Yes, that was yesterday. We had an argument, and
Thanksgiving.
and I won. And it was Christmas, number one, number two was Easter, and number three, Mother's Day. What happened to
I was
Thanksgiving?
just going to say, what happened to Thanksgiving? I always enjoy Thanksgiving because I think it's kind of the real start to the holiday season.
Yeah.
Now, it's about Halloween
No, it's
now.
Halloween.
It'll be Labor Day
Halloween.
before long.
Halloween starts
Oh, no,
in July,
you get-
right
you get
after
to
the 4th of
mid-September-
July.
Right after Labor Day, you'll start seeing Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
No. It never used to be until after Thanksgiving.
Well, let's do what we do every morning is
Do it
bring
well.
you the most comprehensive news in Peoria radio, and to some extent, I couldn't believe, and I won't tell you what channel it was, they've switched now to crime stories. If there might be one or two local stories, and then they talk about murders in Texas, California, and New York, and nothing about the war, nothing about Artemis. I wonder what's going on in the newsroom at some of our local TVs. I don't know, but we'll do our job and hope that people will enjoy it.
They follow suit.
I don't think so. At any rate, we'll start with the weather, brought to you by Spoon River Home Health. Wonderful folks making a difference in the lives of their clients, and they've been around helping people since 1993, and they do it by providing skilled nursing, bathing, and personal care. You name it, they do it, and taking care of the folks who call on them. And you can reach them 24/7 at 309-245-0723. We have a freeze warning until 9 o'clock this morning. I think it was colder yesterday than it was today when they issued this freeze warning. And also that flood warning we reported exclusively yesterday remains in effect from tonight to Saturday morning. The Illinois River is at 16.7 feet, expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at 18.2 feet. Flood stage is an even 18 feet. The river will then begin to fall below flood stage by Friday evening. Weather-wise, we have some cold temperatures, and maybe you might see a flurry or two in the sky this morning. Otherwise, cloudy with clearing today, sunny and 49. Tonight, cloudy, a low 39. Did you hear that? 39. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, and warmer. Just hang on. It'll be 70 degrees, the high tomorrow. Hallelujah. Thursday, partly sunny, 30% chance for afternoon rain, 72 on Thursday. Friday, cloudy with showers, and a high of only 63. Where do you think we are now?
Right now, 38.
All right.
I'm going to say more like 34.
35.
Okay.
And now the news. Here's Terry.
Well, we start our news with word the first honor flight of 2026 is taking off this morning from the Peoria Airport.
Yep.
Retired Air Force veteran and longtime friend Bob Reed, one of the key leaders of the honor flights, will join us by phone at around 7:15 this morning. The first honor flight took off June 4th, 2013.
It seems hard to believe. It was
been
like
that
it was
long.
just yesterday, but it's been that long. Peoria County Coroner Jimmy Harwood reports the death of 42-year-old Ryan Smith of Peoria. Smith died after he was hit by a car on Route 116.
Oh.
I still call it Caterpillar Trail. And that happened near the Paradise Hotel last Thursday evening around 8 p.m. I don't know about you, but if you ever drive on Caterpillar Trail at night,
Dark.
they fly. It's 45, and nobody pays any attention to the
And
45
dark
miles.
spots, too.
And I assume the gentleman was crossing the road some way, somehow,
Oh, I can't
and
believe it.
that was unfortunate. He was taken to St. Francis, where he died of his injuries on Friday.
President Trump held a news conference yesterday to praise the men and women who collaborated to rescue the 2 crew members of the F-15 that was downed by Iranian military forces last week. Trump went into specific details, as did his military officers, about the daring and historic, amazingly successful operation.
The president revealed that after the pilot was rescued, the plane's weapons system officer, a colonel, was missing after he also ejected. Trump said they didn't want Iran to know that, but someone leaked the information to the media, putting the life of the crew member at risk, as well as some 200 members of the rescue team seeking to safely recover the officer. Trump said the leaker and the reporter could be prosecuted under the Espionage Act, as they should.
While most Americans applauded the successful rescue, Democrats continued to criticize the president. Senator Chris Murphy claimed American military forces are losing the war, as did Cory Booker, Richard Blumenthal, and Elizabeth Warren. Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth and Tim Kaine have introduced a resolution calling for withdrawal of forces.
Colonel Klink is still alive. Today or tonight, probably tonight, the president is expected to launch an even heavier bombing operation with failure of Iran to accept an American-Israeli proposal to end the war. Trump said the airstrikes will target power plants, bridges, and civilian infrastructure. And late breaking news, Iran is hoping to get people to gather at those sites to prevent the attacks. So that gives you an idea of how really rotten the mullahs are in Iran. Bad people.
Yesterday, we interviewed some of our favorite veterans about the war with Iran. We continue this morning with former Morton resident Nick Boyle. The U.S. Army veteran served 22 years with combat experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. We'll talk with Sergeant First Class Boyle after the 6:30 news.
And Artemis II, that spacecraft, now headed for home after a flyby with a moon that included no communication for a 40-minute blackout due to their location in space. The crew set a record for the farthest distance from Earth by any spacecraft, traveling, you ready for this, 252,756 miles. That's a long way from Earth, isn't it? It's expected to splash down this Friday evening in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego.
In Central Illinois news, police and school officials canceled classes at Lincoln High School yesterday. The Logan County School received a bomb threat that was left on the school's answering service over the weekend. The threat was not considered credible. Classes are resuming this morning.
Congratulations to Sergeant Bryson Williams. He's been named the Illinois Army National Guard Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Bryson competed in a 3-day challenge involving tests in physical and mental strength. The sergeant is a member of the 65th Troop Command Brigade.
A fire that started from an electrical problem with a ceiling fan caused more than $5,000 damage to a home in the 5200 block of North Willard Road in Peoria Heights over the weekend. The early morning fire sent family members and their pets to safety. Fortunately, no injuries.
And let's look at some of the stories we're following. You know, for investment questions and information, consider Bob Manning of the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in Peoria. Bob's the Senior Vice President, has been in the investment advisory field for more than 27 years now. His phone number, 309-671-4653. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Now more news from WCBU.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. One of the parties in a sale of land along the Illinois River in Peoria that has drawn public attention says it's a necessary step. Andy Schneider is president of the Detweiler Playground nonprofit that plans to sell 8 acres near the marina to O'Brien Steel. He says the Detweiler Trust has been operating at a loss for several years and needs the sale to keep going.
The alternative is for us to just fizzle out and leave nothing, you know, because we keep losing money. We have to change something to keep our mission alive.
Schneider says they're working with the Peoria Park District on how to reroute a section of the Rock Island Greenway Trail that would be impacted. President Trump is trying to restrict who is eligible to vote by mail, and Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is once again trying to stop Trump through the courts. The president is directing Homeland Security to create lists of U.S. citizens eligible to vote in each state and send mail-in ballots only to those people. Raoul says the president's aim is to disenfranchise eligible voters.
The fact remains that states have authority to regulate the time, place, and manner of federal elections.
Trump administration officials have long claimed baselessly that non-citizens use mail-in ballots to vote illegally. A bill in Illinois could change how communities regulate housing for people with disabilities. Capital News Illinois reports local zoning rules across Illinois are preventing small group homes for adults with disabilities from opening. These homes, known as community integrated living arrangements, are shared housing with hands-on support. The proposed bill would stop municipalities from using zoning laws to block these homes. And Republican lawmakers in Springfield want property tax relief, but are against creating a millionaire's tax to pay for it. Democratic State Representative LaShawn Ford wants a constitutional amendment on the fall ballot to create a 3% surcharge on incomes above $1 million. House Minority Leader Tony McCombie says this will ultimately hurt taxpayers.
People will just leave the state. They have the money to do so. They will find loopholes to avoid it.
Democrat House Speaker Emmanuel Chris Welch is non-committal towards Ford's plan. I'm Ben Howell.
Let's get into the world of sports, and the guy who knows sports, been around sports, he's a coach, he's a player, you name it, he's done it. Mike Olson. Mike, what do you have for us? Big game last night, big game.
NC Double One, Division One. men's national championship game was played in downtown Indianapolis at Lucas Oil Stadium, where the Colts play, Indianapolis Colts play. So they drew over. I know they had over 50,000 for the.
It will seat 70,000.
Yeah, I mean
That's
what that's
All
right.
right, Mr. Smarty Pants. Name the Bradley basketball player who played for the Colts in football.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I think I got him.
was
His
a
last name
tight-
started with. You're right. He was a tight
Tight
end.
end.
The last name started with the
Basketball.
letter P.
Pollard.
That's exactly nice going.
Well,
Good
I just
job.
need a little help there.
Yeah.
You kind of sprung that one.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to wake you up.
Well, yeah, I did, and I didn't
remember
wake up
his-
fast enough until I got a good
You
clue.
remember-
But
remember
thank you
his
for the clue.
Remember what his first name was? I don't. I want to say Art, but
No,
it wasn't Art.
no.
Well, we'll look it up while you do sports.
Right. Thank you. Well, in the championship game last night, the NCAA champion returns to the Big Ten. That was the first time the Big Ten has won a NCAA men's
In a
national
long
championship.
time. Was Michigan?
2000 was Michigan State, Tom Izzo.
Michigan State.
And it would be the 99, 2000. So that's 26 years ago. That's a long time for, when Indiana was winning them pretty regularly there, and Ohio
Yeah.
State had their day in the sun, and Michigan's had some days in the sun. In watching the whole game, it wasn't a textbook how to shoot the ball.
I don't think it was a championship game, to tell
No.
you the truth,
Right.
in terms of overall quality.
Quality, right? You've seen some other games that were,
More exciting.
Well, to start out with, Michigan did not make a three in the first half. I
Not
can't-
a single one?
They were 0 for 8. I jotted down a couple things I thought that were interesting. Connecticut stayed in the game in the first half. They were down only at halftime, I think, by 4 points. It was 33 to 29 at halftime.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in Michigan, in every game in the tournament so far, Michigan's averaged 94 points. They scored 69 last night. Now, credit some of them, I guess, to the UConn defense.
But some of us just
But when you
poor
go 0
shooting.
for 8,
Yeah.
and then
3-point.
and then I think I had it at one point. I might have stopped to keep it, but they were 2 for 13, well into the second half.
No kidding.
And then,
Wow.
so that kept it close, no question about it. I think Michigan was a little better team, a little deeper. Of course, they had that one injury to one of their. His name is like Lennon-Borg. He
was
with
into it,
ankle and knee that he was bothered with and determined to play, and they played him, but he maybe 70 to 80%, but that's all. But credit Michigan for winning it. That's they sometimes they don't say by how much or how did you play? Did you win? Well, you won.
That's
so
the bottom line.
That's the bottom line. Some nights you play pretty good and you still lose. So a lot of people say I'd rather play a little maybe not so good and win. So I'm sure Michigan feels that way today. And it ended up being, like I say, a 6-point game. But there was one stretch there with about maybe 2 minutes to go, where it appeared that Connecticut was going to get within about 2 or 3, and they missed a layup. And then Michigan came down, of course, with the ball, and the ball was kind of scrambling around the floor. It ended up being a 3, and they made the 3. So that's a 5-point swing.
That put the nail in the coffin, I
Well,
think.
that takes it from a 2-point game to about a 7-point
yeah.
game real quick, and now you're scrambling to get back into it. When you get within one possession, they proved that when they beat who was that, Duke, with that Hail Mary they
Hail
threw from
Mary
half
shot,
court,
yeah.
so. But hey, it's a great tournament, well attended. Millions watch it. I think with the advent of people being able to pick their brackets and do that, a lot of
It's
interaction.
always a fun time.
Yeah, and they cover it very well, and a lot of schools get in. Now, they have 68 in now. 68 Division I programs make the NCAA men's tournament. I thought I heard the other day on the news they may be expanding that next year into the
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
yeah, more money.
More money.
Right, and then I'd be remiss if I didn't. I did watch a little bit of the girls' game on Sunday during our Easter. UCLA from the West Coast and the Big Ten.
Yeah,
So that's the Big Ten sweep in the two
it
championships.
is, yeah.
Now, it's hard for me to understand
UCLA
in the
being
Big
in
Ten,
the Big Ten.
but they are in the Big Ten.
And there are 100 teams in the Big Ten.
You got that right. And over South, so their chances of winning national championship are a little
Are
better.
much
now.
better, yeah.
Yeah, they beat South Carolina, the team that beat UConn. So credit UCLA and the Big Ten for winning, and Michigan for winning both the men's national championship Division I and the women's national championship Division I. Other news, hey, Chiefs open tonight in Peoria.
Can't believe it.
Yeah, it's baseball time. The Chiefs come off a little road trip where they were 1-2. They will host the Cubs South Bend Farm Club in the Midwest League tonight. 6:35 start at Dozer Park. I think it's going to warm up to maybe high 40s today. And then at 6:30, the sun will be setting around 7:15.
35, and the high today is going to be 49.
Yeah, that's right, high
And-
40s.
But the
By
question is,
6:35,
what's
it
it
won't
going to
be-
be tonight?
Tonight,
Overnight low 39, so it's going to be in the 40s.
it'll be in the 40s.
That's not exactly baseball
No,
weather.
that's not sitting out in the cold, right? So anyway, but they do open, and good luck to them. Cubs did lose last night in Tampa Bay, 6-4. Tampa Bay's back playing in their own stadium now, the Trop, they call it, Tropicana. They had to put a new kind of bubble roof on it that they got blown away in a storm. One of the
Is it an indoor facility?
yes, it's indoor.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, they wanted to kind of keep them out of the. They thought maybe if they kept them out of the heat during the summer.
Was that the team that Joe Girardi managed at
Yeah,
one
and
time?
they got
And then got fired after
fired 'cause he-
and the owner was arguing with the umpires,
And he came out of
and
the
he
dugout.
came out and told the owner shut up, and
You're not helping us.
you don't tell your boss shut up, and they won the division, didn't they, that year?
I think they did.
How many managers get fired after they win a division?
Well, it's a
Those
business.
that tell the boss to shut up.
You get, I would say 99% of those people get fired.
You just don't do that, Joe.
Probably the only one that could be saved.
You didn't learn that at
would-
Spalding, I
may-
don't think.
Maybe if you're the son of or daughter of the owner, you might survive that, but nobody else.
Nobody. Yeah,
But
right.
remember, he did go to the Yankees then and did
Yeah,
pretty
he
well.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. The Washington Nationals beat the Cardinals 9-6. Not much pitching there. Orioles got by the White Sox 2-1. Good pitching there. And in hockey last night, the Blackhawks with their young team are competitive, but still having trouble to win. Close. San Jose Sharks beat the Chicago Blackhawks 3-2. Tonight, the hottest team in the NHL is the St. Louis Blues.
They are.
In their last 15 games, they are 11-2-2. What does that mean? 11 wins, 2 losses, and 2 ties. So in the last 15 games, they've only lost 2 games. So
Well, they're on a
congratulations.
streak
and
then, aren't
and
they?
they're fighting to get in for a playoff spot now. In their Central Division, Utah is 86 points, Nashville 81, and St. Louis 78. They're hoping to get a wild card berth. So good luck to them. On the Diamonds tonight, Cubs will be at Tampa Bay again at 5:40. Cards and Nationals at 5:45. The Orioles and White Sox up in Chicago at 2:10. That'd be a little cool too. And the Bulls and the Wizards play tonight at 6 o'clock in the NBA. And the Colorado is at St. Louis tonight. Colorado is at St. Louis. The Avalanche. St. Louis did beat Colorado the other night 3-2.
I don't know why they don't try to schedule all games in warm states early in the season.
hear
like,
that every year at this time.
Florida, Texas, Arizona, and anywhere in California.
Yeah.
Instead, they schedule them in Wrigley Field, where
Or White Sox Park.
or Comiskey Park.
Or like the Cubs were in on Lake Effect
Yeah.
snow in Cleveland.
Yeah.
That stadium's literally, in my
But
opinion.
don't expect these people running sports to be geniuses. To me, it would be very simple. They may not get everybody, but they could at least try for the month
Well,
of
yeah,
April.
especially when you're, and now at least the Cubs are in Tampa Bay, so that's
Arizona's another state that
yeah,
they could be
they could
playing
play
in.
in, yeah, you bet.
Hawaii.
Atlanta
Yeah.
would be
I don't
better.
think Hawaii has a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we need to get a team in Hawaii.
There you go. Hey, don't forget the Masters opens this week too.
Ooh,
One of the to me, the Masters is the biggest major.
it
isn't
is.
and you see those advertisements for it's just so pristine. The grass is
Beautiful,
green and
yeah.
it's well groomed, and you got water and you got sand for the traps. And in fact, one of my nephews, Joey Olson, is making the trip with his family. They're going down there for a couple days,
Okay.
and that's in Augusta. He's got tickets for, I think, practice round on today, Tuesday. So that's sports on WACU 90.7 FM in lovely Peoria, Illinois, and also on YouTube.com/care of Rogers and Friends,
You got it.
LS.
Mike Olson on sports. Let's get into the news, and we'll start with a check of the weather. And why not? Brought to you by Kyle Varnold, providing personal and business insurance for auto, home, life, and health. Kyle works with multiple companies to find the right policy at the right premium, and that's important. You can check out things with Kyle a little later on this morning. He'll be available at 309-682-0519. And we have a freeze warning until 9 o'clock this morning if you haven't covered. What would you be covering anyway? Too early in the season, isn't it, Terry?
No, I saw
Tulips?
I saw some tulips
I
up
guess
and the
tulips.
daffodil
Tiptoeing
and
through the
buttercups
tulips?
and
Yeah, yellow. I got some yellow one coming up.
Okay, well,
So you can cover.
did you cover them last night or this morning? Well, too late.
You got the garbage out though.
Yeah, well, you make sure you cover the
That's
garbage.
important after
Yeah, you're
big
right.
family meal.
That flooding warning we reported exclusively yesterday remains in effect from tonight to Saturday morning. The Illinois River currently at 16.7 feet, expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at 18.2 feet. Flood stage, as you probably know, maybe don't know, at an even 18 feet. The river will then begin to fall below flood stage by Friday evening. Weather-wise, we have some cold temperatures, and possibly you might see a flurry in the sky this morning because it's cold. It's cold outside, and the high today under sunny skies 49. Cloudy tonight with a low 39. Go Peoria Chiefs down at Dozer Park. Tomorrow partly sunny, windy and warmer, a high near 70. That's more like it. Thursday partly sunny, a 30% chance for afternoon rain and a high of 72. Friday cloudy, showers and a high of 63. And right now it's a nippy 35 degrees. And now let's get into the news with Terry Chamberlain.
the first honor flight of 2026 is taking off this morning from the Peoria Airport. Retired Air Force veteran and longtime friend Bob Reed, one of the key leaders of the honor flights, will join us by phone around 7:15 this morning. The first honor flight took off June 4th, 2013. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death of 42-year-old Ryan Smith of Peoria. Smith died after he was hit by a car on Route 116 near the Paradise Hotel last Thursday evening around 8 p.m. He was taken to OSF St. Francis Medical Center, where he died of his injuries on Friday. President Trump held a news conference yesterday to praise the men and women who collaborated to rescue the 2 crew members of that F-15 that was downed by Iranian military forces last week. Trump went into specific details, as did his military officers, about the daring and historic, amazingly successful operation. The president revealed that after the pilot was rescued, the plane's weapons system officer was missing after he ejected. Trump said they didn't want Iran to know that, but someone leaked the information to the media, putting the life of the crew member at risk, as well as some 200 members of the teams seeking to safely recover the officer. Trump said the leaker and the reporter could be prosecuted under the Espionage Act. Today, the president is expected to launch an even heavier bombing operation with failure of Iran to accept an American-Israeli proposal to end the war. Trump said the airstrikes will target power plants, bridges, and civilian infrastructure. Yesterday, we interviewed some of our favorite veterans about the war with Iran. We continue this morning with former Martin resident Nick Boyle. The U.S. Army veteran served 22 years with combat experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. We'll be speaking with Sergeant First Class Boyle right after the 6:30 news. The Artemis II spacecraft is headed for home after a flyby with the moon that included no communications for a 40-minute blackout. due to their location in space. The crew set a record for the farthest distance from Earth by any spacecraft, traveling 252,756 miles.
That's what I have on my pedometer on my car.
You got a great car.
Yeah.
It's expected to splash down this Friday evening in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego. Central Illinois news, police and school office officials canceled classes at Lincoln High School yesterday. The Logan County School received a bomb threat that was left on the school's answering service over the weekend. The threat was not considered credible, and classes are resuming this morning. Congratulations to Sergeant Bryson Williams, who's been named the Illinois Army National Guard Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Bryson competed in a 3-day challenge involving tests in physical and mental strength. The sergeant is a member of the 65th Troop Command Brigade. And those are the headlines, Roger.
And we continue, and we're very happy to have on our program this morning a native of Morton, Illinois. Nick Boyle is on the line, and we want to chat with him because he spent 22 years in the U.S. Army. Nick, a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Roger.
Thanks for joining us. How old were you when you joined the Army?
I was 18 years old.
And you joined along with your brother Shane, and what was he, 16, 17? How old was he when he joined?
I think he was around the same age.
Yeah. And the two of you wound up in Iraq at the same time and didn't have much of a chance to bump shoulders, but you did see one another briefly at one point. Was that in Iraq or Afghanistan?
That was in Iraq, in Baghdad.
Oh,
And it just by chance, because both of you had on helmets and gear and so forth, and I think when we talked to you the last time, you kind of recognized how he was walking. Is that what it was, standing? How'd you know it was your brother?
You just know when you see somebody you know like that closely from a distance, you can just tell by how they stand, their posture.
height maybe a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. When you waved at each other, did you feel he knew it was you, and you knew it was him?
You
It was too brief to really get that kind of connection from it, but I knew my unit was attached with 3rd ID,
Yeah.
great.
and I knew he was with a tank unit or an armor unit.
Yeah.
And I saw a tank, and I saw the battle boards. I knew it said 369 Armor, and I knew what company it was, and I knew that was his company. And I knew that was probably him standing there. And then when I asked him about it, and he was like, yeah, I was at that position.
I saw you.
Yeah, I did see it.
Yeah.
What'd you feel like when you saw
pretty
your
nice.
brother for the first time, and how many months? 6 months? 7 months? You hadn't seen him or
It
heard?
had been a while because he was deployed and was redeploying, and then they put him back out. I think he had been in Kuwait. So it may have been a year
Oh my goodness.
since I've seen him.
Do you and your brother realize what you put your mother through?
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah. But God bless you, you and Shane and the service, both of you from Morton, Illinois. What actually motivated you, the two of you? Did you convince him? What motivated you to join the Army? And did that help Shane? And who went? I think you probably joined first, didn't you?
Yeah, I joined first in 1997, May of 97.
And what motivated
When I
you
went
to
in.
join? Your mother?
I knew it was an opportunity for me to improve my life.
Wow.
Good for you.
Good for
I knew
you.
maybe I didn't know if I wanted to stay in at that time. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like, I never got that aha moment. Like some people were like, I want to go be a doctor or I want to go be an electrician. I never had that.
Mm.
So I was thinking maybe I'll go in the Army and somehow in there I'll figure out what I want to do with myself.
And my goodness.
And you 22 years until you were 40. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Well, so are some, yeah, the rest
Yeah.
of us are too.
It's a long time.
Did you talk Shane into joining, or was that self-motivated?
That was self-motivated. He told me he was going to do it.
All right. Wonderful.
And then my dad called me afterwards and said, "You're feeding them to the wolves." And I was like, "He's feeding himself to the wolves.
Yeah.
It's not that bad."
It is. How would you summarize your duty in combat in that part of the world?
I think the culture that I was in with my fellow soldiers, it just was like selfless service. It was duty. It wasn't like it was too difficult. Everybody's with has vision with what our commanders want, and I saw some of the best Americans in my life, like some of the smartest people, some of the strongest people when I served, and everybody just kind of kept everybody going. I didn't do it by my own self, that's for sure.
You know,
I just knew that if I could do something like pull security and do my guard and keep my weapon up to speed and do what I was told, everything worked out, and that was easy to do.
when you're in combat, how in the world did you sleep, and when did you sleep, or did you sleep?
I don't know how, I can even, sometimes have difficulty sleeping now, but I'll tell you,
Isn't that something?
with that kind of work, you will sleep. You might get woken up out of your sleep by hearing some noises, but I would sleep in all my equipment. The same helmet that I was wearing would kind of just be propped up behind me like a pillow.
It's
Did
Just
you
think-
did you snore?
I don't know if I snore, but other people definitely snore, and sometimes that's kind of
that's a
like
good way to put it.
soothing. When you're tired, it's soothing.
I would
don't
say you
care.
probably did a little bit too, sir.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
that certainly would be understandable. And officially, you retired from the Army. How many years ago was it, Nick?
2019, December 1st, 2019, I retired.
I know
And
you.
I was given the chance to have my last 2 years at Auburn University, feeling like maybe I could do something for the Army like it's done for me all these years.
Wow.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing what you've done. We thank you for your service to our country. I know you're following things. You can't help but follow what's happening in Iran. And I wondered if you would give us your thoughts about the rescue of the two members of the F-15 crew that that crashed and they had to eject. You have any thoughts about what took place and how we went after them to rescue them?
I just, first I think about the leadership and the planning and the contingencies they have and how they already have teams ready and available to respond to moments like that. There's guys on the ground, that's their specific role is. If a pilot goes down, we're going in. And they get a chance to do their job. And they executed it well from what I can understand.
I know that you can't go into some of the details, but part of your training in the Army was what you would do and if you were captured, and the kinds of things that they teach you and remind you and in many ways order you to what you can do or say and can't do and say. So you had that kind of training.
Yes, and every service member who's going to be in a theater like Iran or any kind of forward operating, they're going to have the code of conduct. And that's, you pretty much can tell them your name, you can tell them your rank and your date of birth in case you are captured. Mm-hmm. But the whole time is you resist. You avoid capturing, you avoid getting captured, and they train you how to do that, how to read the terrain, how to blend in, how to use critical decision making and not get caught in the first place. And even if you do get caught, you're going to continue to look for ways to get out.
I know.
And one way of doing that is see if there's any other. Are you the only one? Are there others? Always be asking, are there others? And then link up with them. And it should be a group effort.
We're talking with Nick Boyle, a native of Morton, who served 22 years in the U.S. Army. And you were a member of the infantry, as I recall?
Yes, I was part of the infantry.
Yeah. And how did you relate to the natives? Were there people that you felt you could trust, or did you always worry? Because most of them, if my memory serves me correct, walk around literally in a tent. I mean, they've got all of the garb that covers their head, their face, their feet, and just about everything, with the potential of carrying a weapon underneath their garb. How did you relate?
There was
them?
that.
What? Say that again.
We did our best to not find ourselves indigenously surrounded, as they called it. But I'm going to tell you, when we came in there, some people were happy to have us there.
Mm-hmm.
And I met some very nice people who were and who lived in Iraq and who were from Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
They would bring us, a lot of times they'd bring us chai. We would drink chai with them. They'd bring us drinks. They'd bring us food, snacks.
Good for you.
After you eat MREs for like months upon months, days upon days, it's kind of like, I want to try something different. And some of these kids outside the wire here, we'd start to talk with them, or we'd be out on patrol, and we would know where we could go get food.
You got to eat.
I did, yeah. I did eat some bad chicken once and got sick.
I've had that in this country.
Yeah.
I think
It's like
we all have.
the chances of getting sick are just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how'd
Like,
you
you go
get?
to Africa, you're definitely going to get sick.
So how'd you get over it? Just with time?
Yeah. Like,
Horribly.
Like, sometimes one time I needed an IV.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I think like almost each time I needed an IV just for fluids.
Yeah, because you were eliminating a
So
lot.
there were no McDonald's or Burger Kings, I guess, in the area for that
My
matter.
medic said we knew something was wrong because you were calling dinosaurs, as they call it.
All right, I'll move on, if you pardon the expression, for that matter. Were you able to relate to some of the kids?
Yeah, probably.
Oh my gosh, like 8-year-old kids smoking cigarettes, playing soccer barefoot on a field of rock.
Wow.
Tough little boogers.
I'm going to say that'll toughen your feet up.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
I know. I wear these Hey Dude shoes a little bit. They're kind of real comfortable when you get them, but after you wear them for about a year, they're comfortable because there's nothing to them. The sole goes down to
That's
about a
right.
quarter of an inch, and you walk like on a gravel road or something.
And
You
you
feel,
feel
you feel
like
like
you're
every step is on a rock. Yeah. And then it
These
hurts.
kids would, there'd be rocks and nasty stuff everywhere that we'd almost be like out with our boots, and these kids just running barefoot, flying across there to come and see us.
That's something.
And you did see combat. You shot at them, and they shot at you. I'm assuming in your tenure at Afghanistan and Iraq.
Yep.
Yes. Two-way rifle range, as we call it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, you probably had a name for just about everything that you did.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to share with our audience about your 22 years of service on behalf of this great country of ours?
Thank you very much for your service, sir.
I was very blessed to get to do it.
Isn't that nice?
I'm thankful for our country that I had a chance to serve, and that we still have a military where guys like me at the age of 18 could go and try to figure out what they want to do and also simultaneously serve our great country.
That's nice.
Tell everybody a little
I
bit
continue to
about.
pray for my leaders, continue to pray for all the way up.
Mm-hmm.
Before we let you go, tell us a little bit about your family. You're married, you have children.
Married, 6 kids.
Wow.
I had 2, my wife had 1, we made 3, ranging from
Mine,
13 to 27.
And beautiful children all. And God bless you, Nick.
It changed my life.
It's an honor to know you.
You still in the Morton area, Nick?
No, sir. I live down in South Carolina.
Oh, boy.
Why would he
You're not
be-
missing this cold weather up here.
What's the weather like this morning in
Oh,
South
gee.
Carolina?
It's 52 degrees,
That's not...
and it's going to be about 70 today.
Yeah, well, we feel sorry
It's
for you.
35 degrees. It's going to be about 39 today.
Good night.
Yeah, you're right there.
Right.
And what are we? April what?
7.
Seventh?
April
Yeah.
7th, you bet.
God.
Nick Boyle, thanks for talking
Thanks,
to us.
Nick.
God bless you for your
Yep.
service.
You got it.
I appreciate
God bless
it.
you guys.
Thank you very
Have a
much.
great day.
Same to you.
Have a good day.
Nick Boyle, native of Morton, Illinois,
Illinois.
and
He
we'll
was-
be right back after
He
this
was a
message.
potter.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him going on to fascinate millions with his talent? 1 in 260,000. The odds of this born racer having 157 career top 10 finishes in NASCAR? 1 in 125 billion. But every driver seeks the pinnacle of their achievements. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I'm NASCAR driver Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Early diagnosis can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
And let's have a check of the weather this morning, brought to you as a service of Morton Community Banks with over 50 branches across central and northwestern Illinois, offering a full range of personal and business banking services. Hometown banks, FDIC insured, so your deposits are safe and secure. Look for the clock tower, boys and girls, and you'll know they have time for you. We have a freeze warning until 9 o'clock and also a flood warning tonight to Saturday morning. The Illinois River at 16.7 feet, expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at 18.2 feet. We have some cold temperatures and maybe a flurry or two this morning, otherwise cloudy today and clearing a little bit later on. It'll be sunny but not very warm, 49. And currently our temperature at 35 degrees. Here's our pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little-known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Stress is all around us these days, especially in the workplace. Some employers are seeing the benefits of folks bringing their pets to work with them. This can be great for both you and your pet if the proper precautions are taken. First, only take dogs to work that are properly socialized, well-behaved, and clean. Then consider the type of work you do. A construction worker versus an office or daycare worker will have different needs for their pets. Make sure all their vaccinations are current. Take all the doggy essentials such as toys, bed, water dish, leash, and pooper scooper. Find a safe spot for Fido. An outdoor worker must make sure there is shelter from the elements, and it's not up to the others to watch for his safety. Office workers may want to have a puppy gate to keep Fido in their personal office space. A daycare worker will have to teach the children how to behave around a dog. Hard as it is to believe, some people are not fond of dogs. Make the experience a good one for everyone by taking others' needs into consideration and keeping your dog close to you and quiet. Taking some time to help your pooch adjust to the new surroundings, sounds, and co-workers will be a great benefit to all. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's Pet Tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
I have to tell you, on Easter Sunday, we went to a house that had a big German Shepherd. I mean, big. Maybe it was more than a German Shepherd. I don't know. It was huge. Ominous looking, you know.
But it doesn't bite. It doesn't bite.
Well, I don't know.
I don't know
But
either.
they had just purchased a small boxer puppy. Cutest little thing, you know. They got this little nub for a tail. What happened anyway? When God made that dog, did he make a mistake? Did he have to take a phone call or something in the middle of designing that boxer? But a cute little thing, and very, as puppies are, very friendly and warm and fuzzy and so forth. But I learned that this boxer, maybe all puppies have sharp teeth. It's like they're hypodermic needles. And, you know, when you're on blood thinner, it doesn't take much to start bleeding. And doggone if he didn't inoculate me with boxer, whatever. And it was just a little, well, you can see it, just a little nick of it. And
But it bled a little bit.
yeah, it did. Like I say, it doesn't. Yeah, but it's the cutest little thing. Why is it? And maybe that's the way it is with children too. Why is it they have to grow up and be adults?
That's the law of the
Oh,
land.
it was just so doggone cute, and boxers grow to a pretty good size, do they not?
Can be, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
And so, anyway, it'll be interesting to visit him a little later on when the dog gets a larger size. Say, a little later on, we want to tell you we're going to be talking. I don't know how many of you remember the Orpheus Club.
I do. I remember the
You
name.
remember going to the concerts?
No,
You
but I-
never?
but I remember
Well,
the
you're
name.
going to get a chance because Dale Hall, we're going to talk to Dale later on in the program during the 8 o'clock hour, is with the Orpheus Club of Peoria. I didn't know they were still, quote, operational. But
Didn't they have their own building like downtown? Isn't there a building that says the Orpheus Club on it? Or am
ooh, I don't know. That's a good question.
Good question.
Well, we'll find out. Where are you talking about? What building? I know the women's club is at the corner of Fayette and
No,
Madison.
it's on the other end of town, kind of like by the Civic Center. I thought they had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought.
You know
there
what?
was-
I know the building you're talking about, the little dinky building
Yeah.
across from the Civic Center.
Yeah.
That may be right. We'll ask Dale. But they are having, it's male voice, 4-part harmony. I'm not sure I know what that means.
It's like a
For-
barber shop, are you? The 4-part.
But
harmony
the
thing.
Orpheus Club has more than 4 people.
Yes, they do.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Any rate, we're going to talk to Dale around 8:15 this morning, and they're having a spring concert at First Federated Church. You all know where that is, at Florence and Sheridan Road, right next to what used to be, for 10 points, what insurance company?
Great Central.
Great Central, yeah. Whatever happened? Great Central was not so great, was it?
Apparently-
It's kind of like
apparently
the 1290 WRL, the mighty
First
1290.
Federated took over that whole building, right? Because I see it advertised as now you can actually
don't-
have, weddings and.
Yeah, it became a community type.
Yeah, but
building.
I think it's owned by First Federated now, or at least
I,
run.
I think you may be right. Any rate, just a little reminder, stick around. We're going to talk about their big spring concert coming up on Sunday, April 26th. And in the meantime, we have news, weather, sports coming up at the top of the hour. And we're going to talk to our good friend and a Woodruff graduate, alumni member, Bob Reed, a veteran of the United States Air Force. The honor flight may have already taken off. We'll find out when we talk to Bob at 7:15 this morning, so stay tuned. You're having breakfast with Roger and Friends on WAZU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois, or somebody once said Illinois. And,
You know they're not from Illinois.
On YouTube, yeah. And that happened to me when I was in
Illinois?
Oslo, Norway. I ran into some Americans there, and I guess they were Norwegian Americans. I said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Peoria, Illinois." They said, "Oh yeah, Illinois." No, honey, it is Illinois. Stay tuned. It is a Tuesday morning, the 7th day of April, and we begin with a check of the weather brought to you by Steve Sink. He is a certified business intermediary with PHX affiliates. Steve has been a business broker for over 20 years. He works with folks to sell a business, buy a business. He just knows business. And by the way, he does business valuations, which is a pretty good business to talk about with Steve, and you can reach Steve Sink at 309-696-8508. And we want to tell you we have a freeze warning until 9 o'clock this morning, and a flood warning that begins tonight until Saturday morning. The Illinois River currently around 16.7 feet, expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at 18.2 feet. Flood stage is an even 18 feet. The river then, after reaching 18.2, begin to fall below flood stage by Friday evening. Let's turn to the weather, Roger. We have some cold temperatures and a cloudy condition right now, but it's going to clear, and it'll be sunny and 49 the high. Tonight, cloudy with a low 39 is the Peoria Chiefs that you'll hear from our sports guy, Mike Olson, play their first home game tonight. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy and warmer, a high near 70, and Thursday it'll be partly sunny, 30% chance for afternoon rain. We're up to 72 on Thursday, and then back off with showers on Friday, 63 the high on Friday. Right now, we lost a degree. We're hunting for it. It's 34. Is it under the table, that degree we lost? Okay, well, we'll keep looking. At any rate, let's get into the news. There's Terry.
Well, we'll start with the news that the first honor flight of 2026 is taking off this morning from the Peoria Airport. Retired Air Force veteran and longtime friend Bob Reed, one of the key leaders of the honor flights, will join us by phone around 7:15 this morning. And note of fact, the first honor flight took off June 4th, 2013.
A long time ago, it's hard to believe. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reporting the death of 42-year-old Ryan Smith of Peoria. Smith died. He was hit by a car on Route 116 Caterpillar Trail near the Paradise Hotel last Thursday evening around 8 p.m., taken to OSF St. Francis Medical Center, where he died of his injuries the following day.
President Trump held a news conference yesterday to praise the men and women who collaborated to rescue the 2 crew members of that F-15 that was downed by Iranian military forces last week. Trump went into specific details, as did his military officers, about the daring and historic, amazingly successful operation.
The president revealed that after the pilot was rescued, the plane's weapons system officer was missing after he ejected from the aircraft. Trump said they didn't want Iran to know that, but some idiot, leaked the information to the media, putting the life of the crew member at risk, as well as some 200 members of the team seeking to safely recover the officer. Trump said the leaker and the reporter could be prosecuted under the Espionage Act. Let's hope they are.
While most Americans applauded the successful rescue, Democrats continued to criticize the president. Senator Chris Murphy claimed American military forces are losing the war, as did Cory Booker, Richard Blumenthal, and Elizabeth Warren. Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth and Tim Kaine have introduced a resolution calling for withdrawal of forces.
Today and probably tonight, when it will happen, the president is expected to launch an even heavier bombing operation with failure of Iran now to accept an American-Israeli proposal to end the war. Trump said the airstrikes will target power plants, bridges, and civilian infrastructure, and Iran is responding by saying they're going to get people to surround the power plants so that would deter the United States and Israel from blowing them up. We'll see what happens.
Yesterday, we interviewed some of our favorite veterans about the war with Iran. And we continued this morning with former Martin President Nick Boyle. The U.S. Army veteran served 22 years with combat experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. We talked with Sergeant First Class Boyle, who actually joined when he was 18, served 22 years, and he was in the infantry.
Yeah, amazing the stories that he was talking about. Thank you again, Nick. The Artemis II spacecraft headed for home after a flyby with the moon that included no communications for a 40-minute blackout due to the location in space. The crew set a record for the farthest distance from Earth by any spacecraft, traveling 252,756 miles. It's expected the spacecraft to splash down this Friday evening in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego.
In Central Illinois news, police and school officials canceled classes at Lincoln High School yesterday. The Logan County School received a bomb threat that was left on the school's answering service over the weekend. The threat was not considered credible, and classes are resuming this morning.
Congratulations to Sergeant Bryson Williams. He's been named the Illinois Army National Guard Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Wow. Bryson competed in a 3-day challenge involving tests in physical and mental. The sergeant is a member of the 65th Troop Command Brigade. Congratulations.
A fire that started from an electrical problem with a ceiling fan caused more than $5,000 damage to a home in the 5200 block of North Willard Road in Peoria Heights over the weekend. The early morning fire sent family members and their pets to safety. Fortunately, no injuries.
And that's good news. Now we get news from WCBU, brought to you by Matt Wall, CPA and tax specialist with Gordon Stockman Wall. Tax time is here, boys and girls, April 15th, the deadline as usual. If you need help on your tax return and would like consultation, Matt Wall is available at 309-692-4030. That number, once again, 692-4030.
From the WCBU newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. One of the parties in a sale of land along the Illinois River in Peoria that has drawn public attention says it's a necessary step. Andy Schneider is president of the Detweiler Playground nonprofit that plans to sell 8 acres near the marina to O'Brien Steel. He says the Detweiler Trust has been operating at a loss for several years and needs the sale to keep going.
The alternative is for us to just fizzle out and leave nothing, because we keep losing money. We have to change something to keep our mission alive.
Schneider says they're working with the Peoria Park District on how to reroute a section of the Rock Island Greenway Trail that would be impacted. President Trump is trying to restrict who is eligible to vote by mail, and Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is once again trying to stop Trump through the courts. The president is directing Homeland Security to create lists of U.S. citizens eligible to vote in each state and send mail-in ballots only to those people. Raoul says the president's aim is to disenfranchise eligible voters.
The fact remains that states have authority to regulate the time, place, and manner of federal elections.
Trump administration officials have long claimed baselessly that non-citizens use mail-in ballots to vote illegally. A bill in Illinois could change how communities regulate housing for people with disabilities. Capital News Illinois reports local zoning rules across Illinois are preventing small group homes for adults with disabilities from opening. These homes, known as community integrated living arrangements, are shared housing with hands-on support. The proposed bill would stop municipalities from using zoning laws to block these homes. And Republican lawmakers in Springfield want property tax relief, but are against creating a millionaire's tax to pay for it. Democratic State Representative LaShawn Ford wants a constitutional amendment on the fall ballot to create a 3% surcharge on incomes above $1 million. House Minority Leader Tony McCombie says this will ultimately hurt taxpayers.
People will just leave the state. They have the money to do so. They will find loopholes to avoid it.
Democrat House Speaker Emmanuel Chris Welch is non-committal towards Ford's plan. I'm Ben Howell.
Okay, let's get into the world of sports. The big basketball game last night with all the
big
details.
basketball
Here's
game.
Michael Olson, boys and girls.
Hey, hail to the Big Ten and to the Michigan Wolverines out of Ann Arbor, Michigan. They win the national championship. That's the first time the Big Ten has won the NCAA Division Men's Championship since Tom Izzo and Michigan State did it in the year
You knew
2000.
Tom, didn't you?
Yes, I still know him well.
You do?
I visited him back in January. We had a
You
nice.
did? And you lined up an interview.
Well, I got to do that for you.
Well, we didn't.
Boy, he's quite a guy.
He's a nice guy.
Got a chance to see sit in on a practice that they had that
Oh,
day.
did you really?
With a couple of looked like one was a former doctor from a professor from Michigan State. It's kind of an area where you can sit, where the press could sit if he wants the press to be there, and it was really.
Did
neat.
you ever play in high school basketball?
I did my freshman year up in Michigan, but it was kind of more recreational.
Okay.
And then when I moved to Richwoods, I didn't survive the first cut for the sophomore team.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, we've all been there. And and I played, 7th and 8th grade teams. And I, you can't be from Central Illinois without being a little bit of, if you're a sports fan. I mean, and Tom Peeler always said it best. I thought he was football coach at Richwoods for many years.
Yeah, he was.
And he would lose a good athlete that just wanted to play basketball, and he'd say, "God, kids, they bounce the ball and it bounces back up, and they think they're a basketball player."
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, he didn't play football. That's what the football coach say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and one thing about basketball too. Only 7 to 7.5, 8 players get to play in a game.
Yeah, that's
a real
right.
game.
Yeah.
Now, you may mop up if you're winning by 100, and coach will clear the bench.
But you ride the bench.
But the kids call them benchies. You'll be a benchy in basketball.
No, we called him scrub. I was a scrub.
Scrub. Oh, that was the old baseball name too for Little League.
okay.
And that. Yeah, scrubs and tubs. But anyway, no, I really enjoyed it, and I spent a lot of time watching. I enjoy watching Bradley play. I enjoy watching I enjoy watching a good high school game. So.
Well, last night's game, did you enjoy that?
Well, to me, it wasn't a real good game to watch. It was a game that, of course, determined the national champion. Michigan, who's been averaging 94 points a game, only did a third of that last night. They won with 69 points, but they played tremendous defense, and I think it's a good lesson for all young coaches. Offense is not always going to be there. Baseball, you can have some pretty average nights hitting. The Cubs the other night didn't they win 1-0? They had 2 hits and the other team had 1 hit. So you better play, but defense is a little bit more consistent. If you have a good shortstop in baseball and a good infield and a good center field, a good catcher, you're going to probably play good defense most days. And Michigan plays very good defense. I think they only lost 2 games all year. So a lot of coaches will say offense is for the show and defense is for the dough. And there's a lot to that, I think, and Michigan did play good defense. Connecticut, I thought, played pretty good defense to hold them to 69. Final score, Michigan 69, UConn 63. UConn was trying to establish what I call a dynasty. They had won 2 out of the last 3. If they would have won last night, that would have been 3 out of 4, and you'll remember this name well. Yeah, so do I. Back to the Lou Alcindor and who became Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
John Wooden.
Johnny Wooden is who I'm thinking about. He had a legacy. Didn't he win like about 7 in a row, I think, one time? That's a dynasty. But if Connecticut could have won and won 3 out of 4, no, I don't think many people have done that. So, but they didn't. Michigan gets their first win. That's the first Big Ten win, like I said, in 26 years. On the women's side, UCLA did win the women's NCAA Division I championship on Sunday. I think that was in Phoenix. They beat South Carolina, who had knocked off the perennial champion, which is UConn also in the women's side. Cubs lost yesterday in Tampa Bay 6-4. Cardinals lost to the Nationals 9-6. The White Sox got beat by the Orioles 2-1. So all 3 of our local big league teams got knocked off. One of our big league teams in hockey, the Blackhawks, got nipped 3-2 by the San Jose Sharks. The St. Louis Blues, the hottest team in the NHL, National Hockey League, they have won 11 out of their last 15 games. They are 11-2-2. They have won 11, they've lost 2, and they've tied 2. So they've only lost 2 games in their last 15 games, and are looking maybe to get a wild card berth into the NHL playoffs, which will be starting in about a week. Masters opens on Thursday officially. I think they had a practice round today, and I think they play a little 9-hole deal or something. Some people play on Wednesday, but Thursday it all starts. The Masters, one of the biggest, in my opinion, of all the 4 majors played by men's golf, will be starting on Thursday and then continuing through Sunday down in Augusta, Georgia. Chiefs open tonight. The Peoria Chiefs of the Midwest Class High A Minor League Baseball League will open at Dozer Park tonight at 6:35. They'll be playing the Cubs Farm Club in the Midwest League, the South Bend Cubs. According to what I saw somewhere, the Chiefs are now 1-2 on the year. Coming home, they were on the road for 3 games. South Bend must have got snowed out or rained out. They are 0-0 heading to Peoria for tonight. And that's sports on WAZU 90.7 FM in lovely Peoria,
You
Illinois.
got it. And go Peoria Chiefs.
Yes.
On the line, we have Air Force veteran Bob Reed.
Bobby Reed.
And graduate of Woodruff High School. And Bob, good morning.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Bob.
When you were
Good to
growing
talk
up,
to you.
where'd you go to grade school, Bob?
St. Boniface,
Ooh.
Oh, really?
You're in the South End.
Did they?
the South End.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did they call you Bobby?
Oh, yeah.
I was called a lot of names. I had a nick. Well, I'm going to give you a name that they give me in grade school is Hub Reed, because there was a basketball player, professional. His last name was Reed, and I had a basketball coach by the name of Mick Donahue.
Oh, legend.
A legend, yeah.
Yes.
Did you play at
And he
Woodruff?
ran a good program.
Yes, he did.
Did you play at Woodruff?
I went to Manual.
I don't know why I thought you
Yeah, I'm
were
gonna say,
a
Roger,
Woodruff
you-
graduate. I'll be doggone.
Yeah, I graduated in 67.
So you went to Manual.
Yes.
Okay, well, we're not going to do the interview. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, my wife also went to Manual, and her maiden name was Saulberger.
Oh, really? Was
Saulberger, one of the Saulberger girls.
The fire chief.
That's her nephew.
Nephew, yep.
And that's something.
That's,
Well, I tell you what, I think everybody in Peoria is related to each other in some way or another.
Some way, you're correct.
Yeah. Bob, I couldn't believe I did a little research. The first honor flight was June 4th, 2013.
13 years.
Can you imagine that?
Yes.
That's how long? Have you been with it since 2013?
Yep.
Yes, I have, since the very beginning. In fact, the gentleman that got me really interested in, he had been with the Springfield honor flight, and they found out there's one opening here, so he just decided to work here. And he says, "Are you interested in the honor flight?" I said, "Yes." He says, "Go out there to the Grand Prairie Mall, there's going to be a movie. He told me the day, and go and see the movie called Honor Flight. Well, I came out of there as well as several other people in the lobby. There wasn't a dry eye there. And so he started introducing me to the different officers and everything. I says, I got to get involved. And that's what I've been doing since then.
Yeah. Go ahead, Bob.
No, go ahead. I'm
going to say, what's the official number of veterans who have been a part and their guardians? Are we talking around 1,000?
No, we've taken over 2,700 so far.
27.
3 times almost.
Yeah.
And that's not counting today's flight.
Okay. Yeah, I was counting one flight a year, and you've had multiple flights a year. Yeah, 2,700. Absolutely amazing. And what, 72 on this flight? Has it left?
This one we had about 68, 69. We had a couple of them that health issues came up to the very last minute.
Yeah.
And
that'll
we
happen.
still got it covered.
Yeah.
It happens, and you have to remember, we didn't fly, of course, during the winter, and people's health changes, and that does happen. A lot of times you'll have maybe one person fall out for a flight. So we've got these 4 flights, and we are doing a penguin flight again this year. This is a
that's
flight
wonderful.
where we do not fly. Everything is done here in Peoria. They meet at the Civic Center. They get their hat and shirt. They'll have 1 or 2 guardians, and they'll go upstairs, have a sit-down breakfast. The buses come into the Civic Center. They all kneel down. We have a medical team. We provide wheelchairs, oxygen if they need it. We get a police escort and a motorcycle escort. First stop is the Peoria County Courthouse and post to the American Legion. They'll explain the different memorials and when they were built. From there, we're going to motorcade out to the Air National Guard. A group picture is taken. There'll be some static displays of aircraft. We will go inside the hangar. We'll have a sit-down catered lunch. From there, we'll head back to the Civic Center, and they're going to have their family and friends waiting for them. There'll be 600-700 people in there. We get them lined up just as we do at the airport. The Patriot Riders will greet them, and we'll have the bagpipes and the drummers, and they're done at 4:30 in the afternoon.
Wonderful.
Absolutely amazing.
Great job, Bob.
Well, thank you. I'm just one part of the team. It's in fact, we're picking up more and more volunteers. We're having veterans that are going on and come back and want to start volunteering.
That's
wonderful. So, has the flight left this morning?
Yes, they left a little before 7.
That's terrific, and a nice day to fly. And where do you get your energy? You're no spring chicken, but boy, I'll tell you what. And neither am I.
Nice.
But it is it because of what you're doing that gives you that energy?
Some of it.
I've got it. You know what? It's all of us. We know how to pace ourselves. And when you have a support team of your family and friends,
Yes.
it makes the job a lot easier to where it's not a job at all. I go out to the VA once a week, and I'll sign up veterans. I'll find out if a veteran's health is going downhill. I can get all the information, and I can upgrade their medical for them.
Isn't that great?
And importantly, the flight does include a medical crew.
Oh, yes. We take our own medical team. We have a doctor and a nurse, and they bring other medical people, and sometimes they bring some people that are in training, and they get additional training what their job consists of when we get out there, because they're working with their people who need a little more help because of their health, and they're jumping in, they're doing this and that, and they've had some people that after one flight says, you're just not going to be a good fit for us. And they have another person that was, so it's just not for them to jump in and say, I'm on the medical team. No, there's certain criteria that they put their standards high.
Bob, I was at a luncheon yesterday, and I had the pleasure of sitting with a man by the name of Dave Suffield, and he is on that honor flight, and he explained it to our table very well, and he was really looking forward to it, and I just wanted you to know that.
Former coach.
Yeah, Dave Suffield was a coach down at Woodruff, yes, and he taught at Woodruff for many years, and he's a retired teacher. But he was
Was
big.
it Woodruff or Peoria High?
He went to Peoria High, I believe.
Yeah,
I know
Peoria
his brother. I know his brother.
Joe Suffield.
Yeah, Joe went. Yeah, they lived, I think, over by Bradley, because I know they talked about not living too far from where the Bradley Field was on campus there.
Yeah. How does if
Oh, I
someone's
mean, these guys
Yeah, he
last night, they had a great time last night at their pre-flight dinner. We started at about
Just lunch.
5:30.
Isn't that
Yep.
nice?
So today they were getting a biscuit sandwich on the plane. They had coffee and donuts to begin with. We take extra packs of snack packs. We know some of these veterans are diabetic. The medical people know
Many of them, I'm sure.
who they know it, and they know who's going to need the oxygen. So they break them up on the buses when they get out there. So everybody who's diabetic is not on one bus. The medical team, they have a couple nurses per bus, and they know the history of that medical person who needs a veteran, what they need and what they don't need.
Yeah.
Great.
If someone's listening and they know a veteran who might be interested, how do they go about connecting with the Honor Flight folks like you?
Well, they can go to the Greater Peoria Honor Flight, and they can do an application online. And you fill it out, and then you hit submit, and then it's sent. And then a lot of times when you leave your email address, within a certain period of time, they will contact you, let you know, yes, we do have your application on file. When I go out to the VA or different places, I'm always talking to veterans, and I get their email on there, and we turn them in, and a team of people looks at their medical, decide if they're going to be moved up for health reasons, and they'll get an email, yes, we got your paperwork here, and thank you, and it's just a wait game. Now we've got almost 900 people waiting to go on a flight.
Wow.
Are you
And
serious?
we pretty much
Wow.
have caught up. COVID set us back 8 flights, and
You're catching up.
there's over 500. We're catching up. That's the word for it.
Yeah. Quick question. Most of the video that I've seen at the airport of Honor Flights are male. Have you had many female participate in the Honor
yes.
Flights?
We've had a lot of females,
Great.
young ladies. A lot of times at the beginning, a lot of them thought it was just for the men.
No.
And we said, no, I mean, we started working on this. Also, a lot of the black people did not think that they were eligible. And we're talking to them, getting them convinced, no, you
Good.
are a veteran.
Good
Get
for
on
you.
the flight. So we go out and do talks all over. Go to nursing homes, whatever. We look for our veterans. Go to churches. We find veterans there. We'll meet up with the men's club. Sign them up.
I think that's wonderful.
Have you been on a flight yourself, Bob?
I've not gone as a veteran. I've gone as a guardian. I've gone as a bus captain. I've gone as a trainer to train other bus captains. So it's a wonderful day, and you can tell who our workers are when they get out there, like the medical team and this. Everybody's head is on the swivel. Everybody's looking for this veteran, making sure he's taken care of. We see a veteran sitting by himself. Somebody's over there. Where's your guardian? Oh, he's over there. Well, I'm going to stay with you until this person comes back. So we don't let anybody just sit around or wander around. Then we usually get a message in our earphones, and you know what time it is? Start bringing the people back. So we start, saying, look at what time it is. We need to start heading back to the buses.
Yeah. It is so well coordinated, and you've been doing it for so many years, so you've got it down pat. And the primary focus is on the veterans, making sure they're comfortable, making sure they are enjoying what's taking place, and making sure that they are in relatively good health, particularly near the end of the trip when that energy level, I don't care what age you are in, you have a full schedule for the people who participate in the honor flights.
Yep.
Yes. In fact, when it's going to be hot weather, we have cooling towels for everybody.
Wow.
That we supply them with. We make sure everybody's dehydrated. Like today, I think the high is going to be 50 degrees, so we're going to be pretty much the same temperature there as we are here.
Yeah. It's just, how long a flight is it from Peoria to Washington, D.C.?
It's a charter aircraft through Allegiant, and gate to gate is 2 hours. And now we are landing at Dulles Airport, and they have, which is about 20-some miles past Reagan, and they have at that airport what they call people shuttles. And this big, looks like a big transport bus. It comes up to the aircraft and lifts up, and you walk on there, and it's as big as a bus on the inside, and then it lowers, and then drives up to the terminal, raises up, and gets the people off to the
Is
main
that
terminals.
right? Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time off.
Yeah. I was going to say, you don't leave any stone unturned. It sounds like you cover all the bases, Bob.
Well, I'll tell you what, we listen to our volunteers, and we listen to the people who have been working for a while with us, and we want to listen to their ideas, their viewpoints. And we've done a lot of new adaptation to where this person's got a pretty good idea. Let's try it. And that's how we've been improving everything.
Well, congratulations for the work you do. And the flight will be returning to Peoria at what time?
They usually arrive between 9:30 and 10 o'clock.
That's a
And
long day.
oh yes, and then the people who want to come out and see them return. They park at the CEFQ credit union, and they have shuttle buses running back and forth. Because
Terrific.
right now they're doing more work out there, and there's very, very limited parking going on. So that's why we encourage people to park their shuttle bus around, and there'll be 700-800 people there tonight.
Amazing. Well, God bless you and your crew for what they do for our veterans, and it certainly is well deserved by them all. So congratulations on another great honor flight.
Well, Roger, I want to thank you for your service too. You know, without our veterans ahead of us, we would not have what we have today.
True.
And last night, as the Luke Rosenbaum said, he was talking to these veterans. He says, it was through your effort. You got us what we need now, and we are pushing forward for the next group of veterans that are coming along for their benefits and everything.
And a little reminder, did you say 900 on the waiting list?
Yes.
That is amazing. What's the furthest away for a veteran that's been on the honor flight? Somebody from St. Louis?
Believe it or not, we had a person that came down from Chicago. And the reason was that honor flight up in that area did not think he was a good candidate. He had some health issues. So they contacted Peoria, and Peoria says, we were going to get back with you. We'll have our medical team contact you. So our medical team contacted their doctors up there, and they had a talk. They says, we want to take him. And they drove down from Chicago
No
so
kidding.
this veteran could go on here.
That is
And
terrific.
actually, we recruited from Streeter. We went up to Streeter for recruitment.
That's great. That just shows you what the honor flight volunteers are all about. And you symbolize that with your sharing of your thoughts and your leadership with us this morning, Bob. God bless you. Keep up the good work,
God
my
bless
friend.
you.
You bet.
Thank you
job,
for
Bob.
everyone.
Thank
And
you.
you guys have a great day. And I'm here every day listening to you. You have a wonderful show.
Well, thanks,
Well, thank
Bob.
you.
I appreciate it. Have a great day. God bless you, my friend.
You too. Thank you. Bye.
You bet. I'm glad we cleared that up about. I kept thinking
You've
he was
always said-
from.
you've always said
I've
he's
always
from
said he
Woodruff.
was from Woodruff.
Well, then when he said
Yeah.
St. Boniface, I'm going, well, he
well,
must
that
have moved.
yeah,
That-
you're
that
right.
got you
Where
thinking.
was Saint Boniface Church
Well,
located?
it's-
Is it still active, or is it like Saint?
it
I heard a
changed
guy on
names.
TV.
That's not what it's,
Boy, is it the one that has the bowling alley?
Is
I
it St.
think?
Anne's now?
I think it's St.
Yeah.
Anne's, yeah.
Saint-
I think
Okay,
yeah,
St.
yeah.
Anne's has the bowling
bowling,
alley.
the little, maybe 5 lanes, yeah.
I heard a guy on TV called it Saint Bernard School. that was a school for dogs, wasn't it? Yeah.
He might have been referring to.
Oh, Roger. Hey, let's get into the news brought to you by Bob Manning. He's Senior Vice President, Financial Advisor with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley in downtown Peoria. They're in the Wynn Technology Building now. I've been in the office of Bob Manning. He's a big Notre Dame fan. He's got all kinds of Notre Dame football gear, helmets, and footballs, and the whole ball of wax. Anyway, it's with the Grandview Capital Group at Morgan Stanley. For all your investment needs, here's a name to remember, Bob Manning, and here's a number to remember, 309-671-4653, Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, LLC, member SIPC. Let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 names. They need one more for a basketball team. So we've got Morgan and Stanley and Smith and Barney. How about LLC? No, that's not a name, is it?
That could be initials from a name.
Anyway, here's Terry with the news.
Well, as we were just speaking with Bob Reed, the first honor flight of 2026 took off this morning, a little bit before 7. Bob is a retired Air Force veteran and manual graduate. And he said he got 68 or 68.
68 on this flight. Had a couple of cancellations due to
yeah.
medical reasons, right?
But they've got a full day ahead of them. They'll be returning around 9:30, between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death of 42-year-old Ryan Smith of Peoria. Smith died after he was hit by a car on Route 116 near the Paradise Hotel last Thursday evening around 8 p.m. He was taken to OSF St. Francis Medical Center, where he died of his injuries on Friday. President Trump held a news conference yesterday to praise the men and women who collaborated to rescue the 2 crew members of that F-15 that was downed by Iranian military forces last week. Trump went into specific details, as did his military officers, about the daring and historic, amazingly successful operation. The president revealed that after the pilot was rescued, the plane's weapons system officer was still missing after he ejected. Trump said they didn't want Iran to know that, but someone leaked the information to the media, putting the life of the crew member at risk, as well as some 200 members of the teams seeking to safely recover the officer. Trump said the leaker and the reporter could be prosecuted under the Espionage Act, and they should be. Today, the president is expected to launch an even heavier bombing operation with failure of Iran to accept an American-Israeli proposal to end the war. Trump said the airstrikes will target power plants, bridges, and civilian infrastructure. The Artemis II spacecraft is headed for home after a flyby with the moon that included no communication for a 40-minute blackout due to their location in space. The crew set a record for the farthest distance from Earth by any spacecraft, traveling 252,756 miles. It's expected to splash down this Friday evening in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego. In Central Illinois news, police and school officials canceled classes at Lincoln High School yesterday. The Logan County School received a bomb threat that was left on the school's answering service over the weekend. The threat was not considered credible, and the classes are resuming this morning. Congratulations to Sergeant Bryson Williams, who's been named the Illinois Army National Guard Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Bryson competed in a 3-day challenge involving tests in physical strength and mental strength. The sergeant is a member of the 65th Troop Command Brigade. A fire that started from an electrical problem with a ceiling fan caused more than $5,000 damage to a home in the 5200 block of North Willard Road in Peoria Heights over the weekend. The early morning fire sent family members and their pets to safety, but fortunately no injuries. And those are the headlines, Roger.
All right, let's take a check of the weather, and the weather is brought to you by Spoon River Home Health, making a difference in the lives of their clients. I've been around working with families now since 1993, a long time, well known in the Tri-County area. They provide a comprehensive range of home health services, from skilled nursing to bathing and personal care. And you have some choices they make available at Spoon River Home Health to take care of your loved one. And you can reach them 24/7 at 309-245-0723. Well, we have a freeze warning until 9 o'clock this morning. It's cold out there. Last time we checked, it was 34 degrees. That's what I currently have, and it's going to warm up to a high, if you call 49 a high. We do have, as I say, not only a freeze warning, but also a flood warning. The Illinois River is currently at 16.7 feet, expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at 18.2 feet, and flood stage is an even 18 feet. When it reaches 18.2 feet, they say, they being the people who give us this information, the river will then begin to fall below flood stage by Friday evening. For 10 points, who should we check with to see just exactly firsthand what the river stage is? Member of our staff on Thursdays,
Mike Dentino.
Mike Dentino. He and his wife reside in Marshall County on the east side of the river. And you know, it's interesting. If it rises on both sides of the river, doesn't it?
Usually, yes.
I would think so.
Yes.
It's kind of like your tub. When you fill the tub, it rises on. But anyway, get into the
pan
weather.
of water.
Yeah. At any rate, we have cloudy conditions turning to clearing conditions today. It'll be sunny and 49. Cloudy tonight with a low 39. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, and warmer. A high near 70. Thursday, partly sunny, 30% chance for afternoon rain. 72 on Thursday, and only 63 under cloudy and rainy skies on Friday. Right now, we are at, we've gained a degree. We're at 35 degrees. And there you have a look at the weather and the news at the bottom of the hour on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. You know, they're beginning to give us some more updates about the weapons officer, weapons system officer in the F-15. By the way, some of the media keep referring to he and the pilot as the two pilots, but they've made it very clear the weapons officer is not a pilot. And sometimes the national media goofs around a little bit. But at any rate, this colonel who they rescued is now in Kuwait receiving treatment, and he was rescued by 6 members of a Navy SEAL team. Wow. Now, you remember someone, and I've been trying frantically to get a hold of him, to talk with him. You know who we're talking about? Mm-hmm. Ben Wallach. Mm-hmm. And he is a Navy SEAL, former Navy SEAL. But, you know, I'm going to tell folks, and I can't tell you from whom I talked about, but it started with Dick Crane yesterday. Now, he gave information that others that I've talked to have been through the training. It's called C. What is Sir C.
I have just S-E-R-E.
S-I-R-S-E-E.
Oh.
Circe.
Okay.
And this is a rigorous training. And I'll tell you what I learned, that it is so harsh that in one case, one of the persons that I talked with actually was injured during the training. They put you in a box, and as he said, it's a horrible experience, and then they take you out, and what they do to you after that is when you wish you were back in the box. That's how serious it is. But they want you to know, and they do it not only for members of the Air Force or Navy Air Force or Navy pilots and so forth. They do it for some of the guys who are in SEAL training. And it is tough to let you know what you're going to go through. And if you talk to some or read about some of the accounts in Vietnam, what they did to Americans in Vietnam when they captured them. And it is, and and I was told by several people, don't ask me to talk about it because for two reasons. I don't want to experience it again, and secondly, they are told they're not supposed to talk about what that training is.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to the colonel, this guy had fractured legs, and he climbed 7,000 feet, and he treated, they had this, and I believe Captain Dick Crane, by the way, I never did ask him what his rank was. I think, was he a captain when he retired?
I don't
No,
know.
we don't. All the conversations, and we
Dick.
know he was in the studio. We never asked him what his rank was. But this guy was a colonel, so he was in his 40s, so he's no spring chicken. He treated his own wounds because, as Dick Crane said, that they have literally a suitcase of
Yeah,
medical
small
supplies.
suitcases, like, yep.
And
they're trained.
so he had bandages and I guess maybe stuff to pour on the wound to
get
disinfect it
infected.
and so forth. And he went, like 48 hours with a limited amount of water and probably ran out of food after the first day for that matter. But they rescued him and he's now recovering from his
Two broken
injuries.
legs.
And 2 broken legs.
When they say that you're ejected, Roger, you got a little more knowledge than I do, being in the service. Are they ejected right out of the seat they're in?
Yeah.
Okay,
Correct.
so when you land, if you better get your legs up pretty high, or I mean.
Well, the seat, they
seat
separate the pilot or the weapons, in this case, officer, are separated from the seat. Dick said it was like sitting on a rocket.
Right, the seat. It
And
sounds
the
like the
chute-
seat goes a little
the-
bit, but then there's a part. Didn't he say that, like this? The pan. He called it the
Yes.
seat pan separates. and
Yes, and he's sitting on the pan.
Right.
The
Wow.
key is when they land, of course, even that can be a hard landing
Sure.
for a couple of reasons. One, you want to make sure the chute is fully inflated. And secondly, you try the best, as Dick said, to avoid trees.
I was just going to say,
And where are you
may
going to land?
on something,
Right.
especially
You're not
at
landing
night.
at
It's at night a
Deadwater
lot, too.
Park,
Right, no.
for the soccer
You're not-
field. But what this guy, the president during the press briefing yesterday said the airman scaled cliff faces, bleeding profusely, and treated his own wounds, and many are calling his survival an Easter miracle. And it is amazing that they did find him on Easter.
Yeah, I'm glad he did.
Yeah.
Prayers were answered by that family.
So praise the Lord for what took place. At any rate, we'll keep you up to date as things unfold. Right now, it is we have to be on the edge of our seats to hope that it isn't necessary for the United States to bomb the hell out of Iran. But these are bad people. They are now estimating the mullahs have killed 45 to 49,000 of their own people, who apparently they felt was a threat to their ruling class, which is kind of unfortunate. We'll be right back after this important message. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Mike Richmond of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs with this message for veterans. 6 million AARP members once served in the U.S. military, and many of the issues AARP focuses on for people 50 and older intersect with the critical needs of veterans, 2/3 of whom are over the age of 50. That's why AARP provides valuable resources to help veterans make informed decisions in their pursuit of health care, employment, wellness, and other needs that will empower them to live a fulfilling life. AARP focuses on 4 key areas when it comes to veterans: family caregiving, fighting fraud, securing employment, and connecting to benefits and discounts. To learn more and download free resources, go to aarp.org/veterans. That's aarp.org/veterans. I'm Mike Richmond.
Thank you, Mike, for that information, good information. We are getting follow-up stories about what is happening up in Chicago, which is kind of interesting, and some people say, well, that's what they deserve because of the way they treated the Border Patrol and immigration authorities and ICE agents, etc. They have teen gangs that are roaming the neighborhoods now, including downtown Chicago, which is already nothing compared to what it was decades ago when you had the Marshall Field, which was a wonderful shopping center, wasn't it? Yeah. And what was the other major downtown center? Marshall Fields. Was it Carson Perry Scott also?
Yeah, Carson
downtown?
had a big
That's what I
presence
thought.
downtown. Yep.
And then you had some great stores at Water Tower, and some great restaurants as well. Well, downtown Chicago isn't what it used to be, and I think most people prefer to go to the shopping centers in Schaumburg and surrounding areas of the Loop. But these teen gangs are now raising hell in downtown Chicago, and it is interesting that that's out of control in many respects. The mayor, Brandon Johnson, who's really been, by and large, shall we say, a poor leader of Chicago, had all their resources with the governor of Illinois to combat the arrest of illegal immigrants. In the meantime, their teenage population is causing havoc downtown. And you know, having taught for how many years now, Mike?
Oh, including subbing, almost 50.
Yeah. As you know, one of the things that school leaders have tried to do was avoid the polarization of young people into groups or gangs. And I know we have gangs in the city of Peoria.
Sure we do.
Jerry Brady, your brother-in-law, pointed that out. And you remember what he used to do? He used to have meetings in City Hall in which he would parade some bad people who have turned good to speak to these kids and adults who are at risk, I guess you might say. And what was the name of his program? I wonder, was it Don't Shoot? But that came afterward,
Are you
right?
thinking Dare?
No, I know what you mean by Dare. That was
schools.
yeah.
Yeah, but don't shoot.
And
was
that's
definitely-
fallen by the wayside. You don't hear much
I was
about
just
it.
gonna say, we don't, I wonder how much we're still doing.
But
with
he
Dare.
had a program, and he even brought a guy in that was on our show, Breakfast with Royce and Roger at WOAM. And Royce said, and he had written a book. And matter of fact, I was given a copy of the book. And Royce said, you know, you're making an impact, because he said, you look like Jesus Christ, because he had long hair and a beard. And he did. He looked like, we all have an image of what Christ looked like. Yeah,
of Jesus.
exactly. But I can't remember, and it was successful. And mothers, usually mothers, because fathers weren't around, were present of some of these bad people as a way of saying, you've got to change your lives and do constructive things instead of destructive. Yeah. And Jerry Brady was an absolutely one of the best, and we've had some great. Kevin Lyons was an outstanding state's attorney, and Jody, who's is following in the footsteps of Jerry Brady.
Jerry, right.
And she's doing a great
Jerry,
job.
Jerry was tremendous. Yep.
Man, how did you find him as a relative, as a member of the Olson family?
I always had a lot of respect for Jerry and what he did, and you know, I always said proudly, if I was dealing with anybody, that I in my own mind knew that they knew whether it be a policeman or a fireman or any of these, first responder type of people, they all knew Jerry, and I'm sure, like all of us, we have an occasional bad day, but I've never heard anybody say a bad word about Jerry.
Well, Jerry Brady, yeah. What'd you find out?
Okay, David Kennedy was
That's
the guy.
his name. That was his name.
Who
Yeah.
wrote the book?
What was the name of the
It was
book?
Don't Shoot.
Don't
It
shoot.
was Don't
It was
Shoot.
the Don't Shoot.
So I guess
that
I
was
do
the program
remember.
that he.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but it entailed more than just telling people not to shoot.
Not
you
to
know?
shoot.
Yeah, and part of it, like you just said, was using City Hall and helping these young people see, what could happen. My wife, when she first started teaching, she was a midterm graduate, and she got a job at Peoria High School in special ed. They got a special waiver. She wasn't, but they needed somebody in special ed to teach special ed kids social studies. So they got her what they call a provisional from our regional superintendent. I think it was Jerry Brookhart at that time. So she could basically, so they could fill that spot on the staff until they could find a special ed social studies teacher. And she said she'll never, I remember her coming home that one day, and she still talks about it, where they got discussing, about, not using drugs and not doing this and behaving. And a number of the kids said, well, Mom, my dad or my brothers, they smoke pot all the time at home. And then a lot of them would say, too, that they didn't feel like there was, they got involved in things where they knew were dangerous and that, but they just didn't feel they would live very long anyway. So they might as well get the gold chains and the teeth and make the big money on the streets. And I had one student that was that came in, mid-semester from a children's home, and he got released because he had to go to high school, and so he was in my freshman algebra class. He was a little bit older, didn't do much studying. I had him right up front by me, and he was cooperative but didn't do much. So I finally said one day, I said, Willie, you got to start doing a little work. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I commend you that you're not causing any trouble, and our class is fine. But he said, Mr. Olson, he said, I make more in a night than you make all year.
Yeah.
and he wasn't trying to be boastful. He was just being honest.
He'd be honest, yeah.
He was being honest, and he had the chains and the gold teeth, and I said, yeah, man, you got more money in your mouth and around your neck
than you have in your checking
my
account.
checking account.
Yeah.
And but I remember being a little smart with him. I said, yeah, Willie, how's your life insurance policy?
It is fascinating.
But it's just like what these young people see, and they don't, look what your dad did, and you had such good role models, and I looked to my dad and always tried to, and uncles and that I was proud of, and learned how you're supposed to behave and work, and ethical and moral type of values, I think.
And to me, the core value of a community is its educational system.
Sure it is.
And obviously, the primary resource for strength and the establishment of how you're supposed to live and the meaning of responsibility starts in the home.
In the home.
But close behind are teachers like you and coaches.
And then I'd also like to say, and the churches too. I just think that's the area where we've lost.
But we're right, we've lost it. So they used to be.
Churches used to be a centerpiece of your neighborhood,
when I
along
first started teaching,
with the neighborhood school, which we don't have such a
either.
thing anymore.
Yeah, the neighborhood school is a big loss. But I just think too that, even if it was the grandmas of some of the kids that I dealt with at Central, they had so much respect for their churches and and they would spend a lot of their Sunday, around the churches, with meals and all that, and you could tell that they would dress up. I've always been impressed some days when I'll go to Kroger's, like maybe 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and you'll see a number of I call them churchgoers for no better word. They've look like they're ready to go get married almost. They got a suit and tie on, and got nice shoes are polished up, and hairs look perfect, and boy, they're just, you can tell they've had a good day.
And when you look back to, quote, your neighborhoods and neighborhood schools, it was not unusual for, like, I was raised in the north end of Peoria, and in what was known as Averville, and we had Kingman Grade School within walking distance. You didn't see yellow buses running helter-skelter. You walk to school and also walk to Woodruff High School, both to and from. Sometimes that was after I got caught getting on the bus and paying as if I was 12 years old. And I used to get off at Woodruff High School, and the bus was packed. And the driver, when I got on, I put in the nickel or dime for 12 and under. And the guy said,
Aren't you
"Sir,
in high school?
yeah." He said, "You're in high school, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes." And he said, "Well, I figured because you get off at Woodruff every morning, you have to start paying an adult." And everybody on the bus laughed. I felt really stupid. But he was the stupid one because I was getting on.
I was going to say, you worked it for half the year, so come on. Who's stupid here?
Yeah. And when I got on, he had to know I was older because I was shaving with my electric razor. No. Anyway, the point is the school was the anchor for the neighborhood, along with, we had the Madison Avenue Methodist Church with the church. We lost that when we lost neighborhood schools, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Well, I know you have to get out of here, so
Right, I
we
gotta
need
go
to get into
I
the
gotta go to
news.
Therapy today.
Yeah.
Larry
Okay.
Lavery.
Do you have time to do sports?
I'm going to do the
Want
sports
me
right
to-
now.
You
No,
want me to?
I've got it here. I've got it. I can,
You want me to start with sports, or do you want me to start with the news?
let's start with sports.
That's what I thought.
Because I got to be there by at least 8:25 for
Yeah.
8:30.
Okay, well, and I've watched you drive too, and
Yeah,
so
I don't wanna race.
I don't. So we'll start with sports. Here's my first one.
Thank you very much. Well, NCAA found their champion last night. It's the Michigan Wolverines in Ann Arbor, Michigan, 69, and UConn, 63. In watching the whole game, it wasn't the best game of the tournament by, just excitement and, it was a fairly close game, and I credit UConn. I think Michigan was the better team. Michigan won. Michigan was 0 for 8 in the first half.
It's
Shoot
hard to
from
believe.
three.
From 3-point
From three,
line.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, and UConn was 5 for 15. So that got them. UConn was losing by basically, I think it was 3 or 4 points. It was like 33-29, I believe, at halftime. And they're in the game, and they were in the game almost till the 2-minute mark, and then it kind of slid away to about 7. But good game for Michigan and a Big Ten champion the first time since 2000. Tom Izzo and Michigan State won in 2000. So nobody in the Big Ten has won
26 years.
26 years. So congratulations.
Usually
to
ACC team or SEC, right?
Going back to in the old days of the Big
Yeah,
East, and
yeah.
then we had some days in the Valley too. With
And Duke and North Carolina were the big powerhouses.
big powerhouses, right?
And then in recent years, Connecticut.
Connecticut has really taken in. Yeah, they had won 2 of the last 3 years, and we're looking to kind of settle a
Make it 3 out of 4.
3 out of 4, which would have been getting pretty close to that dynasty era, but didn't come about. Cubs lost last night in Tampa, 6-4. Cardinals lost to the Nationals 9-6, and the White Sox lost to the Orioles 2-1, and the Blackhawks lost to San Jose 3-2 in the NHL. So, not a real good day for our Cubs, Cards, White Sox, and Blackhawks. On the other hand, in the NHL, the St. Louis Blues are having a great stretch. In the last 15 games, they're the hottest team in the league. They've only lost 2 out of their last 15. They have 11 wins, 2 ties, and 2 losses in their last 15, and they're fighting for a NHL playoff spot. Today, in Major League Baseball and some other sports, Cubs at 5:45. They'll be in Tampa again. Cardinals and Nationals at 5:45. Orioles and White Sox at 2:10 up in Chicago today on a cold, windy day on the south side of Chicago. And the Bulls and Wizards will play at 6 o'clock. Hockey-wise, Colorado will be in St. Louis tonight at 7. Masters is coming up, one of the 4 majors on the men's tour. The 9th, which would be Thursday, usually play four rounds, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That'd be the 9th through the 12th. And that, of course, is down in the excellent course in Augusta, Georgia. Chiefs open tonight. Chiefs, our Peoria Chiefs, proud Midwest affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals, will open at Dozer Park tonight, and they'll be playing the Cubs Midwest affiliate, the South Bend Cubs. The Chiefs are currently 1-2. The South Bend did not get to play. They must have got snowed out or rained out somewhere up north. 0-0. They're 0-0, and they'll play tonight at Dozer Park at 6:35. And that's sports on WAZU 90.7 FM in lovely Peoria, Illinois, and on YouTube.com, care of Roger and Friends, LS. That's sports.
There you are. Well, do a good job in your rehab,
Well,
and we'll do the best we can.
I appreciate it.
Carry on as you head work out. How long does rehab last?
45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah, it's a
okay.
good workout for 45 minutes, and it works.
Oh, good.
And you have to work a little bit on your own at it.
Well, as you should be.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you, my friend.
Thank you, and
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
God bless.
Yeah, you all right?
Hi, I'm Terry Chamberlain.
And I'm Kathy Reynolds.
And we start our mornings by listening to Breakfast with Roger and Friends.
Share there for a while. You're having breakfast with Roger and Friends on WACU FM 90.7 in Peoria, Illinois. Also to the fine folks watching on YouTube. Let's begin, as we normally do, with a check of the weather, and it's brought to you by Heinz Roofing. This is the time of the year some homeowners learn they have a leaky roof. Not good, but it means it's time to call Heinz Roofing, the experts, because they've been repairing and replacing roofs in Central Illinois now for over 33 years. For a no-obligation inspection of your roof, you can call Doug Hines. He's the owner, and he is a veteran, at 309-672-0910. Hines Roofing, quality work by quality people. Well, we can tell you in a little less than an hour the freeze warning will end, and that was issued last night. We do have a flood warning that will be in effect tonight until Saturday morning. That's because the Illinois River is rising. It's currently at 16.7 feet, expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at 18.2 feet. That's just a little bit over the flood stage, which is an even 18 feet. The river then, after reaching 18.2 feet, will begin to fall below flood stage by about Friday evening. We have some cold temperatures today, and it's cloudy, but it will clear, and we'll reach a nippy 49 degrees. The overnight lows, the Peoria Chiefs open their season at Dozer Park, 39 degrees. It won't be that cold, but it'll be cold for a baseball game. But get out and support our Peoria Chiefs. Tomorrow, partly sunny, windy, and warmer, a high near 70. Thursday, partly sunny, 30% chance for afternoon rain, 72 on Thursday. Friday, cloudy, showers, a high of 63. And right now, our temperature standing at, or sitting, 35 degrees. Now let's get into the news presented by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance services in central, western, and eastern Illinois. There are more than 500 AMT employees, men and women, dedicated to offering and providing the best in health care. Saving lives is what they do. Now with our lead story, here's Terry.
Well, we'll start the news with word that the first honor flight of 2026 took off this morning from the Peoria Airport. They left a little bit before 7 a.m. Retired Air Force veteran and longtime friend Bob Reed is one of the key leaders of the honor flights. And he called us this morning and said everybody got off safely. They've got about 68 veterans on today's flight. They'll get back between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight if you want to go out to the airport and welcome them home. If you do, park at the CEFQ parking lot, and there'll be shuttle buses to take you up to the airport. And as a little interesting tidbit, the first honor flight took off June 4th, 2013.
When was the last time you were at the airport, if I may be asked?
In November
In
of
November.
last year.
Had you noticed it looked like a gigantic football game in Indianapolis or maybe Champaign? There were cars all over the place.
Oh, yes.
I mean, ever since, I remember I used to do the marketing for the airport under Bruce Carter. Neat guy. And the board, the Airport Authority Board, was weighing the question because they charge for parking at that.
Yep.
And they decided, because I think the folks at the Central Illinois Regional Airport in Bloomington lifted and provided free parking, maybe they ought to do it. And they did do it. They lost a huge amount of revenue. But boy, look at the number of people now flying out of the Peoria Airport. I think, as it turns out, it was a wise decision. Anyway, in other news, Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death of 42-year-old Ryan Smith of Peoria. Smith died after he was hit by a car on Route 116, we call it Caterpillar Trail, near the Paradise Hotel. It happened last Thursday evening around 8 p.m. He was taken to OSF St. Francis Medical Center, where he died of his injuries the following day.
President Trump held a news conference yesterday to praise the men and women who collaborated to rescue the 2 crew members of the F-15 that was downed by Iranian military forces last week. Trump went into specific details, as did his military officers, about the daring and historic, amazingly successful operation.
The president revealed that after the pilot was rescued, the plane's weapons system officer was missing after he also ejected. Trump said they didn't want Iran to know that, but someone leaked the information to the media, and the reporter put the life of the crew members at risk, as well as some of the 200 members of the rescue team seeking to safely recover that operations officer. Trump said the leaker and the reporter could be prosecuted under the Espionage Act.
While most Americans applauded the successful rescue, Democrats continued to criticize the president. Senator Chris Murphy claimed American military forces are losing the war, as did Cory Booker, Richard Blumenthal, and Elizabeth Warren. Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth and Tim Kaine have introduced a resolution calling for withdrawal of forces.
Today, the president expected to launch an even heavier bombing operation, with failure of Iran so far to accept an American-Israeli proposal to end the war. Trump said the airstrikes will target power plants, bridges, and civilian infrastructure. And now there is report Iran is asking their citizens to come and surround the power plants and the bridges in the hopes that the United States and Israel will not blow them up because they don't want to kill civilians.
No, I think that they want that. Let the military heads and the heads of state go out there and surround these.
Yeah, that's what they're there for, right.
That's right. Yesterday, we interviewed some of our favorite veterans about the war with Iran. And we continued those talks this morning with former Morton resident Nick Boyle. Nick was with the U.S. Army, served for 22 years, and he had combat experience in Iraq and Afghanistan.
And it was a fascinating interview. You notice the quality, it was almost like he was in the studio.
Yes,
I don't
he had
know
a
what
really
kind of
good
phone.
conversation.
You know, some people have phones that are just amazing. We need to start taking notes of that. And then there are others that sound like they're talking through. Remember the old days where
tin can and a
string in the garage? Yeah. That wasn't the case with Nick's phone. The Artemis II spacecraft, by the way, now headed home after a flyby at the moon on the backside, the dark side. And during that time, there was no communication for about 40 minutes due to their location in space. The crew, by the way, set a record for the farthest distance from Earth by any spacecraft, traveling 252,756 miles. That's about what I had on my car now. And it's expected, not my car, their spacecraft, to splash down this Friday evening in the Pacific Ocean, not too far from San Diego.
In Central Illinois news, police and school officials canceled classes at Lincoln High School yesterday. The Logan County School received a bomb threat that was left on the school's answering service over the weekend. The threat was not considered credible, and classes are resuming this morning.
Congratulations to Sergeant Bryson Williams, who's been named the Illinois Army National Guard Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Bryson competed in a 3-day challenge involving tests in physical and mental strength. The sergeant is a member of the 65th Troop Command Brigade.
A fire that started from an electrical problem with a ceiling fan caused more than $5,000 damage to a home in the 5200 block of North Willard Road in Peoria Heights over the weekend. The early morning fire sent family members and their pets to safety. Fortunately, no injuries.
And now let's move to WCBU 4 News. Presented by Advanced Medical Transport, the premier provider of emergency and scheduled ambulance service in central, western, and eastern Illinois. There are more than 500 AMT employees, men and women dedicated to offering and providing the best in health care. Saving lives is what they do.
From the WCBU Newsroom, I'm Ben Howell. One of the parties in a sale of land along the Illinois River in Peoria that has drawn public attention says it's a necessary step. Andy Schneider is president of the Detweiler Playground nonprofit that plans to sell 8 acres near the marina to O'Brien Steel. He says the Detweiler Trust has been operating at a loss for several years and needs the sale to keep going.
The alternative is for us to just fizzle out and leave nothing. You know, because we keep losing money, we have to change something to keep our mission alive.
Schneider says they're working with the Peoria Park District on how to reroute a section of the Rock Island Greenway Trail that would be impacted. President Trump is trying to restrict who is eligible to vote by mail, and Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul is once again trying to stop Trump through the courts. The president is directing Homeland Security to create lists of U.S. citizens eligible to vote in each state and send mail-in ballots only to those people. Raoul says the president's aim is to disenfranchise eligible voters.
The fact remains that states have authority to regulate the time, place, and manner of federal elections.
Trump administration officials have long claimed baselessly that non-citizens use mail-in ballots to vote illegally. A bill in Illinois could change how communities regulate housing for people with disabilities. Capital News Illinois reports local zoning rules across Illinois are preventing small group homes for adults with disabilities from opening. These homes, known as community integrated living arrangements, are shared housing with hands-on support. The proposed bill would stop municipalities from using zoning laws to block these homes. And Republican lawmakers in Springfield want property tax relief, but are against creating a millionaire's tax to pay for it. Democratic State Representative LaShawn Ford wants a constitutional amendment on the fall ballot to create a 3% surcharge on incomes above $1 million. House Minority Leader Tony McCombie says this will ultimately hurt taxpayers.
People will just leave the state. They have the money to do so. They will find loopholes to avoid it.
Democrat House Speaker Emmanuel Chris Welch is non-committal towards Ford's plan. I'm Ben Howell.
All right, Ben, thank you very much for that report. This is hour number 3 of Breakfast with Roger and Friends on WACU FM 90.7. Big event coming up later this month at the First Federated Church. The Orpheus Club of Peoria will present their spring concert. And I think he's in good voice this morning. We'll find out. With the Orpheus Club, our guest this morning by phone, Dale Hall. Good morning, Dale. Are you in good voice?
Yes, sir. So far, so good.
Yeah. Are you a member of the Orpheus Club? I assume that you are.
Yes, I am.
And what are you, a baritone, a soprano?
Well, I'm a first tenor.
A first tenor. How long did it take you to get to first since you were originally on third? No, I'm just kidding.
Lots of batting practice. Yeah, right.
That'll do it for sure. Well, tell us a little bit about the Orpheus Club of Peoria, because it's been around for decades.
Yes, sir. It's been around since 1902, which would make it 124 years. And it has quite a heritage to it. It's been, from what I hear, it's the longest running musical group in the area, and it's survived all sorts of challenges, and that's about it. Yeah, and
yeah, you don't look a day over 50. I can't believe that you started in 1902. Oh no, the club.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
The club. Yeah. You know, it hasn't always been a First Federated Church. Where are some of the locations where Orpheus Club has performed?
Well, when I started, we started at Rich Woods High School, and there's another church on, oh shoot.
Were you at First Baptist Church at any time on?
No.
No, okay.
No, I don't recall. It's from also heard at the used to be at the Shrine Mosque way back in the day, and other locations.
Yeah, that was the premier entertainment venue in Peoria. Was the Shrine Mosque. I emceed a program down there for the Bells of Harmony one year, and Fred Waring and the Pennsylvanians used to come to Peoria, and they would entertain at the Shrine Mosque. Later on, they appeared at the Robertson Fieldhouse. How many people are singers with the Orpheus Club? And
I believe there's about 12 or 13 of us.
Yeah. At one time, I think you had 20 or 30 members, did you not?
Yes. For also what I've heard, there used to be about 80 some way back in the day.
Yeah. It has a long, rich heritage of wonderful singers. I know one of the things on the information you gave me is it says male voice 4-part harmony. Explain that to our listeners.
Well, there's let's see, we have first tenors, second tenors, baritones, and basses. That's the 4-part harmony part of it.
Okay. And where do you practice? Do you practice at the church or in your basement?
Yes, we practice at the First Federated Church. Yeah. Yes, Tuesday nights starting at 7.
And tell us what kind of songs you're going to sing at the spring concert.
Well, the spring concert, we're going to have it's going to be a patriotic theme since we're celebrating the 250th anniversary of the Constitution this year.
Wonderful. And
we're going to recognize the veterans. One of the things we're going to do is the Armed Forces medley. We sing the theme songs for all the armed forces and recognize the veterans in the audience and the choir members as well.
Yeah. Have you got a couple of tunes that you off the cuff can tell us you might sing? God Bless America or
yes, hold on. I got to open up my book here.
Okay, open up your songbook. We're listening to first tenor Dale Hall, who at one time appeared at Carnegie Hall. He didn't sing; he just visited.
Yeah, right. Let's see. We have a George M. Cohan patriotic medley. We are going to sing "God Bless America." Begin to Begin. Close to You. It's a famous Carpenter song.
Oh yes.
And McNamara's Band. We do have songs with some Irish flair to it. Embraceable You, Johnny Cash medley, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That's just a sampling of what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be an absolutely enjoyable evening, and we urge everybody to participate. It will be a Sunday afternoon performance. No reserved seats, I see, April 26th, and you invite everybody to come out. Somebody listening says, you know what, I like singing. I wouldn't mind participating. Is there a number or you have a website that people can go to if they would be interested in singing?
If anyone's interested, I don't have the number to the director or our secretary, but I can give you my number if that's okay.
Yes, go ahead. You bet.
And, of course, we are always looking for new members. If you enjoyed singing in high school, grade school, college, or just enjoy singing in general, we are looking for new members all the time. And my phone number is area code 309-423-2774.
Yeah, and you practice what, once a week or every 2 weeks or what?
Yes, once a week we practice Tuesday evenings, and we take the summer off and we pick up practice for the fall concert in September. And in fact, our next our winter concert is going to be December 6th of 2026.
Did you grow up wanting to sing when you were in high school? Where'd you go to high school?
Deer Creek, Mackinac. Go Chiefs.
Hey, go Chiefs, you bet. Did you sing at Christmas programs and spring concerts in high school? Have you always had an interest in singing?
Well, I started singing when I was attending Deer Creek Methodist. The organ teacher, who was a second grade teacher at Deer Creek Grade School, she asked me if I wanted to be in the choir, and I said sure. So, it just took someone asking me, and I thought, well, here we go.
Yeah. It's so good that you're keeping the Orpheus Club alive with music, and I commend you. And by the way, is it a cappella, or are you accompanied by piano or organ, or is it a...
We're accompanied by a piano, yes.
Okay. And who's the pianist?
Oh, her name is Denise Adams Winger.
Oh, sure. Yeah, everybody knows Lee Winger's wife, or everybody knows her husband.
Yes. And our director's name was Chris Adams Winger.
Is that right? Their son. Isn't that something? Well,
Yep.
that's another reason to, because the Wingers are very talented, and this sounds like a lot of fun. Do they just look forward to getting tickets at the door?
Yes, you can. I believe for a $5 donation, yes.
That is terrific. All right. Again, a reminder, the Orpheus Club of Peoria, spring concert coming up. Dale Hall wants everybody to come and see their Sunday afternoon 3 o'clock performance later this month, April 26th.
I'd like to encourage everybody to get there just a little bit early.
Yeah, that's not a bad. Hey, thanks so much. Thanks so much.
And the church we sing in is it's very accommodating, and it's very acoustic.
Yeah. All right, we'll be there. Hey, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, folks.
You bet. Dale Hall of the Orpheus Club of Peoria, and I have attended their performance, and I'm trying to think. This club, well, he said it's been around since 1902. So, well, at any rate, make plans to attend the concert. You're having breakfast with Roger and friends on WAZU.
Jackie, yeah, what you doing now? It seems like yesterday when we were working out. Jackie, oh, you set the world on fire. You came and gave it up. Your love is lifted us higher and higher. Give it up, and we'll be there at your side. Oh, say you will sing your song forevermore, Gonna be some sweet sounds coming down the night shift. I bet you sing it loud. Oh, I bet you put it loud. All night, the night shift. You found another home. I know you're not alone on the night shift. Gonna be some sweet sounds.
You don't really add to it when you listen to music, and you can watch the choreography of the Commodores moving around. Classic, I have to say. They have a wonderful children's meal, which is just about right for and I met Rob and his staff there, and Kaylee, who I know is part of the group. I also met a guy by the name of Del Patterson, and he has a band. We're going to learn more about his band. And first-class treatment by everybody there at Arby's, and they do tune in. I hope they make it a regular habit to join us each and every morning on Breakfast with Roger and Friends. Let's close with our final newscast of the News at the bottom of the hour, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Sam Lilly and Associates, providing a comprehensive range of insurance products, including personal auto, home life, and medical coverage. You know, Sam specializes in Medicare plans and options, something he's been doing during his more than 40 years in the insurance industry. Sam knows insurance, and you can learn more from Sammy at 309-245-4374. With our news headlines, here's Terry Chamberlain.
Well, the big news is this morning that the first honor flight of 2026 took off this morning from the Peoria Airport. We talked with retired Air Force veteran, longtime friend, manual graduate Bob Reed, who's one of the key leaders of the honor flights. We spoke to him this morning, and he said they took off a little bit before 7 o'clock this morning, headed for Washington, D.C. They'll be back between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight.
That's a long day
It's a very
for the
long
veterans. I'm sure they're bushed, if you pardon the expression, when they get back.
I bet they are. And a little tidbit of trivia, the first honor flight took off June 4th, 2013. Peoria County Coroner Jamie Harwood reports the death of 42-year-old Ryan Smith of Peoria. Smith died after he was hit by a car on Route 116 near the Paradise Hotel last Thursday evening around 8 p.m. He was taken to OSF St. Francis Medical Center, where he died of his injuries on Friday. President Trump held a news conference yesterday to praise the men and women who collaborated to rescue the 2 crew members of that F-15 that was downed by Iranian military forces last week. Trump went into specific details, as did his military officers, about the daring and historic, amazingly successful operation. The president revealed that after the pilot was rescued, the plane's weapons system officer was missing after he ejected. Trump said they didn't want Iran to know that, but someone leaked the information to the media, putting the life of the crew member at risk, as well as some 200 members of the teams seeking to safely recover the officer. Trump said the leaker and the reporter could be prosecuted under the Espionage Act. Today, the president is expected to launch an even heavier bombing operation with the failure of Iran to accept an American-Israeli proposal to end the war. Trump said the airstrikes will target power plants, bridges, and civilian infrastructure. The Artemis II spacecraft is headed for home after a flyby with the moon that included no communication for a 40-minute blackout due to their location in space. That's the dark side of the moon. The crew set a record for the farthest distance from Earth by any spacecraft, traveling 252,756 miles. It's expected to splash down this Friday evening in the Pacific Ocean near San Diego. In Central Illinois news, police and school officials canceled classes at Lincoln High School yesterday. The Logan County School received a bomb threat that was left on the school's answering service over the weekend. The threat was not considered credible, and classes resumed this morning. Congratulations to Sergeant Bryson Williams, who has been named the Illinois Army National Guard Non-Commissioned Officer of the Year. Bryson competed in a 3-day challenge involving tests in physical and mental strength. The sergeant is a member of the 65th Troop Command Brigade. A fire that started from an electrical problem with a ceiling fan caused more than $5,000 damage to a home in the 5200 block of North Willard Road in Peoria Heights over the weekend. The early morning fire sent family members and their pets to safety. Fortunately, no injuries. And those are the headlines, Roger.
You know, as the weather warms, so does the interest in looking at making a change, perhaps, in where you live. This was a good time of the year to start looking. And we have a suggestion that you might check in to help you in the search with Realtor Kathy Reynolds of Home Smart. She is available. She'd like to help you through the process, and Kathy Reynolds is available today at 309-696-2162. Well, we have a freeze warning. It's going to end in a few minutes, less like 25 minutes. It's supposed to suddenly say, okay, the freeze warning is over at 9 a.m. That flood warning, though, that we have talked about exclusively on our program yesterday, begins tonight to Saturday morning. Once again, a reminder, the Illinois River right now is at around 16.7 feet and expected to rise above flood stage by tomorrow afternoon at just above flood stage, which is 18 feet to 18.2 feet. And then it'll start to fall below flood stage by Friday evening. We have some kind of cool, and maybe in my case, cold temperatures at right now 35 degrees, the high today under sunny skies, eventually at a high of 49. Tonight cloudy with a low of 39. Tomorrow will be partly sunny, windy, and warmer, high near 70. Thursday partly sunny, 30% chance for afternoon rain. We'll reach 72 degrees on Thursday. Friday, cloudy with showers and a high of 63. Right now, we are at 35 degrees. You know, we were talking, Terry, about the singing group of the Orpheus Club of Peoria being around since 1902. I got to thinking about some of the great artists that have arrived in the country over the years, and I'm sure there's a couple of those. More than a couple we talked about, but Phil Salzer's on the line. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning, Phil. Hey, Roger, how you doing?
Doing fine. Can you turn your radio down?
I enjoy listening to Bob Reed. He's really dedicated to the veterans and so forth, and he did an excellent job of explaining everything he's explained. And I've nominated a couple guys, and he's seen to it that they've been taken care of, although they didn't want to go to Washington. They'd been there before and been to the Vietnam area and so forth. But when Mike spoke up and said about Dave Suffield and so forth, I thought how many people know about Dave Suffield's background, and
Roger, I know you probably went to those Bradley games when Melchorian Man and all those guys were playing. Do you remember that little mascot that they used to have? That he dressed up in the Bradley uniform and would at halftime, be shooting around on the Fieldhouse court and so forth. You probably went to a few of those Bradley games, didn't you?
Sure did. Was that David Suffield?
Well, that was Dave Suffield. He was their mascot. And I mentioned that to a couple of my former students who I've gotten to know much better because they've been taking me to various things. They always take me to the Peoria High ball games, football and basketball. Home, I try not to, get too far away from home. But anyway, Dave was the mascot for those people. And they were shocked because they knew Dave, because Dave used to be a cross-country coach down at Woodruff. And these guys worked a lot of cross-country meets and so forth.
That's interesting. Okay, I have a question for you, since you brought up Dave Suffield. Who was the coach whose son used to shoot during halftime?
One of the famous five, my high school coach, Ted Panish.
Is that right? Well, I was thinking someone more current. As a matter of fact, the coach is still coaching out on the West Coast.
Out on the West Coast?
Yeah, at the University of California at Davis.
Well, that would have been Molinari.
Jim Less. Jim Less's son.
Jim Less. I said Molinari.
Yeah. You remember his son would shoot at halftime.
Would he?
Yeah.
But Ted Panish, when he was the head coach over at East Peoria, his boy, the Pep Club, they called it the Pep Club at East Peoria High School. They bought the uniform and everything because I had two older brothers and they were both in the Pep Club, and one of them I think was even president maybe of the Pep Club, and they bought the uniform, and little Teddy, who later on, he worked for Billy Mann. Billy Mann had a camp out there in Colorado somewhere, and Ted Panish and Billy Mann and Squeaky Melcher and all those guys, they were awful close, and they saw to it that the kid, had a summer job and so forth. And later on, when he got a little bit older, you know what he went to do? He went to break horses. He was a blockbuster. Yeah. And then I don't know what happened to him after that. His mom and dad both passed away. And
tell everybody about Ted Panish.
Ted Panish was a snarling, coach who might be telling you a little story and so forth, but everybody says, oh, he's chewing those kids out and so forth. He wasn't even, I'll tell you what, and I got to thank him one time. I went to a Bradley football reunion and just happened to sit at the same table with Ted Panish, and I said, Mr. Panish, you never called him, you could call him Coach, but I call him Mr. Panish a lot of times, that out of respect and so forth for our people. I says, Mr. Panish, I've been coaching for a number of years, and I want to thank you for doing one thing. I said, you taught me about patience, and that's one of the most important things. And that's why I said your brother would have been an awful good baseball coach and should have gone into coaching and so forth. Zach was very patient with kids. As an example, that kid that came all the way from California, who thanked him down at Alexander's, and you were there. Well, anyway, I told Mr. Panish, I said, Mr. Panish, I said, one time I was his quarterback in high school, freshman year. He taught freshman football, and buddy, you better be patient with those freshmen. Anyway, I says, I made the same exact mistake. He's trying to teach me something as a quarterback, and I did it wrong 3 times in a row, and he finally just said, okay, we'll go on to something else, and so forth. And I learned not to ever blow up with a young kid in regard to trying to teach something, and if he failed to do what you want him to do, don't chew the kid out. Just, say, okay, we'll do something. We'll work on it somewhere later on. And he was. And he was a great great guy. He told me a lot of stories about the famous five. And see, they had a chance to go to the first NCAA tournament up in Evanston. They had been to the NIT out in New York the year before, and they got beaten. NIT. Well, the NCAA started, I think, in 38 or 39, somewhere on there. Anyway, the team that eventually won it, Bradley had beaten in the regular season. And Robbie called him in, and Ted Panch was the spokesman for him because he was a little bit older than most. He's from Morris, Illinois, where he was from. And they talked it over and so forth, and they said, hey, we'll talk over, Coach. And so Panch went back, and he was the spokesman. He says, Coach, we'd sure in the heck rather go to New York City than up to Evanston, Illinois. And who knows? Maybe Bradley would have won that first NCAA. You never know. But Mr. Pash was, he was very patient, and of course we'd play a faculty ball game, and of course he drove between my legs one time. He was awful, and he's the one that would hold the ball, and he did this in many ball games, and they were just tougher than heck in that league that they were playing in, and Wesleyan was their big opponent.
Yeah.
Anyway,
go ahead. I have a question, a sports question. Well, an entertainment question. Who was the brother of a famous Peoria high school coach who went on to big time entertainer in on radio?
Roger, I'm having a little bit difficult time hearing you. Who was what?
Who was the brother of a well-known Peoria coach who went out to California eventually and became a big name in national radio entertainment?
Well, Chick Hearn was...
this goes back before Chick Hearn.
Hey, Phil.
California.
Phil.
Yeah, I will help you out. He coached at Kingman High School and then later Woodruff High School.
His first name was Tommy.
Tommy Corral.
Yes.
Tommy Corral, but Tommy Corral never went to California.
But his brother did. And who was his brother?
Oh, yeah. I think he had been a bricklayer here in Peoria. Was he called Red Corral?
Red Corral.
He was on Amos and Andy.
No, not.
Are you talking a guy that played?
No, it was Charles.
Andy on Amos and Andy.
Yeah, it was Red Corral. Stayed in Peoria and worked for District 150. However, the third brother was Charles Corral and became
Andy Corral.
Andy of Amos and Andy. Yeah. And on to a legendary career, and the two white guys played two black guys that I don't think that would go over too well today. But they were funny and very successful.
It didn't go over real well in the 50s because that's when they,
that's when they
really
got fired.
Started hammering on it.
Yeah. No, you're right.
They said that here in Peoria, when the Amos and Andy show was on, many of the stores would pipe it in so that the people, like on a Monday night, many of the stores used to stay open in Peoria downtown. And they say, you won't miss any episode of Amos and Andy.
Yeah.
Come on in.
Yeah.
You can listen to it here in Penny's, Montgomery Ward's, all the different stores that cater to the working class and so forth. And
nope, you're exactly right. And
I've taken up too much. Too much of your time.
Then a quick question: what were the names of the two Peorians that were huge successes in early morning radio, or early radio, I should say?
Amos, Phil McGee and Molly.
That's exact. And what were their real names?
Jim Jordan and Molly Driscoll.
You got it. Phil Saucer, ladies and gentlemen, wins our prize. Thanks, Phil. God bless you. Have a great day.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in.
All right, bye.
That was a lesson in vaudeville radio, for that matter. Now, who is one of the most popular morning radio performers on Breakfast with Roger and Friends?
Well, we've got Louis Linder with the pet tip of the day.
Today's pet tip is brought to you by
Bingo.
Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Pet lovers are dedicated to their animals, all species from horses to turtles and of course cats and dogs. If you are a pet lover, learn these little known, somewhat amazing facts about your pet. Stress is all around us these days, especially in the workplace. Some employers are seeing the benefits of folks bringing their pets to work with them. This can be great for both you and your pet if the proper precautions are taken. First, only take dogs to work that are properly socialized, well-behaved, and clean. Then consider the type of work you do. A construction worker versus an office or daycare worker will have different needs for their pets. Make sure all their vaccinations are current. Take all the doggy essentials such as toys, bed, water dish, leash, and pooper scooper. Find a safe spot for Fido. An outdoor worker must make sure there is shelter from the elements, and it's not up to the others to watch for his safety. Office workers may want to have a puppy gate to keep Fido in their personal office space. A daycare worker will have to teach the children how to behave around a dog. Hard as it is to believe, some people are not fond of dogs. Make the experience a good one for everyone by taking others' needs into consideration and keeping your dog close to you and quiet. Taking some time to help your pooch adjust to the new surroundings, sounds, and co-workers will be a great benefit to all. This whisker of information has been made possible by a grant from the Corporation for Public Broadcasting in partnership with Spot, Saving Pets One at a Time, and KSBR Studios. Produced by Joseph C. McGuire and theme music by Stuardo Glasser.
Today's pet tip has been brought to you by Peoria Pet Crematory of Peoria and Lewiston, providing final care for family pets, large and small, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Their phone number is 713-1898. That's 713-1898. More information is available at peoriapetcrematory.com.
Hey, we have a little time before we end the program this morning to see how good our music authorities are. Are you ready to play this musical game, Terry Chamberlain?
I'm ready.
How about you, Kathy Reynolds?
I am ready. I got to turn my TV down so that I can hear you guys and not have that feedback thing going. Hang on just a second.
Okay.
Done.
Okay, done. All right, we'll start with this song, and these are songs from the motion pictures of I can't think of it. 007.
James Bond.
James Bond, thank you. Here's our first song. You name the song, panel, and who's singing it.
Nobody does it better.
Okay, you both got it. And who's the artist?
Was this Carly Simon?
Yes, it was Carly.
I think so, yes.
Well, you did. You done good, kids. You done good. You won't get this next one, I don't think. And we throw this in simply because we don't want you to get a perfect score.
View to a Kill.
A View to Kill. Who's the artist? He has two, his first and last name are the same.
Would that be John?
No? Good try.
I was
Starts
sorry.
with the letter D. Well, you won't get it. Duran.
Oh, that's a group, Duran Duran. Okay.
Oh, well, pardon me.
Yeah.
All right. But no, I would not have come up with that.
Okay. All right. You'll get this one.
I can't hear it.
You can't hear
I
it?
heard a couple of. And for your eyes only.
That
Yes.
is correct. By
Sheena Easton.
that is correct. All right. We're on a winning roll here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try this one.
We have all the time in the world. Time enough for life.
Sounds like Louis Armstrong.
Louis Armstrong is correct.
All the precious things.
Yeah, he just gave the title
in store.
from the movie On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
The love in the
I can't hear it.
If that's all we have, you will find
Now I hear it.
we need nothing more. Every step.
We have all the time in the world. Is the title of that one. But at least you got the Louis Armstrong one. All right, I know you'll get this one. This will be a quick answer, I'm sure.
Live and let die.
That's correct. By
Wings.
Wings, and who was the...
Paul McCartney and
Oh,
Wings.
very good. You got nice going, ladies and gentlemen. Here's another one. This is one of my favorites.
The Spy Who Loved Me.
No?
All I wanted was a sweet distraction for an hour or two.
Oh, good song.
Had no intention to do the things we've done. Funny how it always goes with love when you don't look, you find.
For Your Eyes Only.
What's the answer?
For Your Eyes Only.
No.
No.
Here's the title. All-time high from the most...
The guy from, he always dressed like in a suit. He had short hair. He's from,
No.
I think he was from Canada.
No, it's a female.
Oh, it is a female.
Yes, it is a
I always
female.
got those two mixed up.
And it's her last name is the same of a grade school in West Peoria.
I don't know his grade
And
school there.
the name of a president.
Washington.
Rita Coolidge.
Oh, Rita Coolidge.
Coolidge. No, not Coolidge.
Yeah, Rita Coolidge.
Rita Coolidge.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you would get that one. All right, I'm going to play one that features one of my relatives. See if you can guess the title of it.
From Russia with love.
From Russia with Love.
Oh, that's the title, right? Who's the singer?
Von Monroe.
Oh, you know, that was close. Very close. I'll give it to you. My Uncle Matt Monroe.
Oh, Matt Monroe was he? Okay.
All right, here's, we have time for one more, and it's two singers. And no, it's only one singer. I'm sorry. Female singer, very well known because of her dad.
You only live twice.
That's right, you only live twice. Who's the singer? Her dad was one of my favorite, and everybody's favorite singers.
Nancy Sinatra?
Nancy Sinatra is correct. Hey, thanks, analysts. We're out of here. Have a great day. Remember, God loves you, and you only live twice.